Second rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about...
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
English, mother...
Body, you ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit to do.
Let's put a smile on that face.
What's up, film fam? Oh, and welcome to the film. Oh, all right.
You good?
Yeah. No, okay, restart it. What's up, film fam? And welcome to the Film Room Podcast. My name's Dion.
And my name is Scott.
And today, I hope you guys are ready. Let me pop my afro. I hope you are ready, because today, brother and sisters, we're doing a Spike Lee joint.
Hey.
2018 docudrama, BlacKkKlansman. But before we get into that, to get into the movie, we're going to give our general thoughts. We're going to hear from the family. We're going to get into our deep dive. And then to close the episode, we have our award show called the Filmmies. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. But with all that being said, I'm curious, Scott, what were your thoughts? Is this your first time seeing BlacKkKlansman, first of all?
Yes, it is. It is my first time watching it. And I'm prepared to give my general thoughts.
General thoughts.
We got to salute the general.
Yeah, no, that's true. We got to salute the general. 100%.
I really liked it. I thought it was a good story. I thought it was funny. I didn't know it was comedic, and but the feel, the tone was very good. It was really funny. I also really liked the style of it. Like in the performances, it felt really unscripted, almost like an improv, like really loose. They just talk like normal people. Like it didn't feel like there was written down lines, like carefully scripted lines with like perfectly thought out messaging and stuff. They just talk like normal people. I like that feeling or that tone.
No, for sure. And it's interesting you talk about the because I remember the first time I watched it. This isn't my first time seeing it, but the first time I watched it, I had that exact same thought where I was like, oh, I didn't expect it to be like a comedy, and it made me think of like a parallel with I, Tonya. There's another parallel to I, Tonya in this. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, there is. Yeah.
but yeah, just that dark comedy aspect with it being a movie that has like serious tones to it. I, Tonya, there's serious tones to it because obviously there's an incident that happens, but they can play around with it. Mm-hmm. But especially the whole thing with her mom, like the way they play up that definitely doesn't have to be comedy, but that makes it dark comedy. With this, there's a lot of comedy and stuff that could have just been done as serious and just like more haunting and more like scary, but they played around with the humor in this.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, all the Klan meetings and the members of the Klan, they're all kind of have comedic moments. Yeah, and just the way like Ron's fucking with them over the phone and all that stuff is just, it's great stuff.
It's interesting too, like the dark. Like, not to go off at a tangent, but just to give the parallel of the I, Tonya thing, because Jeanette McCartney, I think that's her name, is like making a movie or a TV show based off like the book that she wrote that's called like I'm Glad My Mom's Dead. It's the girl from iCarly.
Oh,
like
yeah,
the blonde girl.
Yeah.
And they're making a TV show out of it. And I remember people are weirded out because they're like, oh, like it's supposed to be an abusive mom, but apparently the director wanted to go in like the dark comedy route. And I remember someone was saying that's kind of weird. I'm like, I mean, it is kind of weird, but if you watch I, Tonya, it can kind of work.
Right.
Because after seeing I, Tonya, I'm like, yeah, that does seem kind of weird to have an abusive mom and kind of have it be like a dark comedy. But if you watch I, Tonya, you can see it work.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it's like you have moments of realness to like actually communicate what you're trying to say about the situation. But like it's not like the whole movie is subtext. And so you can have moments of comedy like in this, like we said, it's the same thing. Like this is a story around the KKK, who was an extremely oppressive and violent and terrible group, and you still have comedy involved with it. That doesn't mean that like you're making the situation light and fun.
No,
like you still have. There's still moments in this movie that are like a little more serious, where where Spike Lee can like communicate that stuff about how he really feels about it. But like the movie itself, like in the way you're telling the story, is funny. You have like you're making fun of these people.
Yeah,
they're bad people.
100%. And it's like there's another parallel I made too with another like tonal shift from humor to serious. I think of Boys in the Hood. That was another movie that we talked about how like there's a lot of laughs, and then obviously I'm not going to spoil for anyone that maybe that hasn't seen Boys in the Hood. It's a lot of laughs, and then it gets serious at the end. And I feel like it's really powerful because when you're laughing and laughing, and then when something gets like serious, and then just like it really like I feel like it really hits you
True.
because it's just like, oh damn, okay, we're going here. Like
Yeah,
it's very sharp.
yeah, that's a good point because if you're trying to be serious and I don't want to say like preachy, but like
Mhm.
it can become that if that's what the whole movie is. If
Yeah.
you're just hammering this message like scene after scene after scene, and it's like, okay, I get it. We're supposed to be sad about like the KKK
Yeah.
lynching black people, or
Mhm.
in Itanya's case, like an abusive mother, or you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like we get it. We're
Mhm.
supposed to be sad about this stuff. So when you have like this light tone and like you're kind of getting this feel, okay, this is what the movie feels like. You're in this space, and then a serious moment hits, and then you're just like, whoa, that was jarring, and it makes you feel
Yeah.
it even more than if they're just doing it over and over and over.
Yeah, exactly. And just this story in itself is just crazy. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like I saw so many times Spike Lee in interviews being like, all he had to tell me is black man infiltrated the KKK. All right, let's
I'm
work
in.
on this. You know what I mean? Yeah. What else do you have to hear? Like that doesn't sound real.
Yeah.
Like you tell like until the story, when I heard about it, I was like, is that real though? Or are they doing like making their own kind of fictional story here? But the
I
fact
mean,
that it's
I
real is insane.
obviously they took some liberties and juiced it up a
Yeah.
little bit, but yeah, I was reading about the real Ron Stallworth, and it the basic idea is pretty accurate, you know? Like
Yeah.
he saw the ad in the paper, called the called the number, pretended to be white, had one of his colleagues pretend to be him in the face-to-face meetups, and he actually talked to um the leader of the KKK. I can't remember his name
Mhm.
off the top of my head,
Oh,
but
David Duke.
David Duke. Yeah, David
Yeah.
Duke. He actually, so that stuff is real,
Mhm.
which is crazy.
Yeah, I know it really is. Like, and it's just like this movie was almost it was educational to me in the sense of like I didn't know much about the KKK. You know what I mean? Like I know of them, but like
Yeah,
when I first watched this movie, I didn't know who David Duke was.
right. Same. Yeah,
So it's also it's like there's a lot of knowledge that they drop in this movie. If you weren't familiar with like, and if this movie feels like it works in a sense of like it can be for everyone. Man, not everyone would maybe want to go see this movie, but I mean, there's definitely probably white supremacists wouldn't want to see this movie. But so I shouldn't say for everybody,
yeah,
but it opens up in a way where it's again with the comedy and how it plays with those balances those tones. It's something that definitely is palatable to a lot of people.
yeah, yeah. That's true. And I mean, the I was like a little bit confused at the start just about the KKK because you're right. Like the point you made about them being I don't know, just like a bad group and just kind of learning about them.
Mhm.
Like, because I was confused at the start. Like, why are they really investigating them? Like, I didn't know it was illegal. Like, what they were doing was illegal at the time. Like, obviously, killing
Mhm.
people is illegal, but
Yeah.
like, you know, like doing the cross burnings and stuff. Like, was that illegal at the time? Like,
Mhm.
I didn't really even know because they have an ad in the paper, and I was like, if
Yeah.
this is illegal, how are they? You can't, you know what I mean? Like, you just have
Yeah.
an
No,
ad in the
100%.
paper.
100%. And that was also the funny thing too, where it's like when Ron gets the call back, the guy's all confused, like, "Oh, how did you get?" I'm like, "You had an ad in the paper. What do you mean?"
Yeah.
And you're like, and we go by the organization now. Your ad said Ku Klux Klan.
That's what I'm
in the
saying. That's why I was a little confused, but
yeah.
again, I guess it's the tone just making fun of them because there's even like when he meets up with Felix and he's driving him and he's like, "This invisible empire has stayed secret by being careful and all this."
Yeah.
I'm like, "You have an ad with your name in the
Yeah.
paper. What is going
Yeah.
on here?"
Yeah, I know. Invisible. Yeah, it's just like, hey, maybe if we change the name, people forget.
The
You know what I mean? Forget the
organization,
whole.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they're the organization now. They're the organization.
Right.
They're not the. Don't say the. Oh yeah. Now we don't know where the heck did they go. They're the
Right.
organization now. They just disappeared.
But I mean, when they have the clan meetings and they have to be in secret, but then like
Mm,
David Duke comes and he gets a police escort, so like you can be the leader, the grand
the Grand Wizard.
wizard. You could be the grand
Yeah.
wizard of this thing, but it's illegal to be the thing. Like I just don't know.
Well, yeah, which is it is very interesting. It kind of like I mean, purposely done. They show you the contrast of like it's not illegal to be like a KKK technically, but they're so worried about the Black Panthers, which is like
Right.
one is obviously they're looking at them both as equal hate groups, but there's not as much as an emphasis on the Ku Klux Klan, which again just kind of tells you of the time.
Yeah.
And the Ku Klux Klan still exists today.
Oh, for sure.
Which is also wild. Yeah, like they have a Wikipedia page. Go on the Wikipedia page, and it says what they apparently to their Wikipedia page they don't hate Black people anymore. That's what the Wikipedia page says.
I mean,
so I believe it.
Yeah,
I
you
believe
should join
that.
then, bro.
Yeah. Maybe,
just a
maybe they're
brotherhood,
more
a nice
inclusive now.
yeah, maybe.
Exactly. Man. That's people we don't part of the film family. No. I don't think they want to join.
No,
our logo. I think I like our logo shoots them off right from the beginning.
That's true. That's a good point because I was gonna say, like you said, that maybe they wouldn't tune into this episode, but maybe they would. I don't know. Maybe they tune into.
I think our logo just does it right away.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good.
And then even if they don't see our intro, once they start, they're like, nah, let's get out of here. They see Friday in there. They see Samuel Jackson. Like, nah, this isn't for me.
That's a good point.
But yeah, I mean, I say let's hear from the family, but we did this week.
Nothing from the family this week.
Nothing from the family this week. Yeah, and it's okay. Sometimes it gets a little busy. The family, we couldn't have a meeting this week, so
it's a long weekend.
It's a long weekend. That's true.
In Canada, anyways.
Yeah, it's true. In Canada, people in Canada also getting ready to go back to school, so the family's a little busy, a little late back to school shopping. So that's why there's no family meeting this week. Everyone's trying to get ready for school.
Right.
So I get it. It happens.
Yeah, that's all right.
Next week we'll have something, I'm sure. Next week we'll have something, I'm sure. But we can jump right into the deep dive. As we were talking about the confusion, I want to talk about the intro. Like, I don't know what you thought about the little intro with the Alec Baldwin's character. Yeah, the propaganda speech. I have a couple of things. I don't know if you had anything.
I mean, it was funny. First of all, I wasn't expecting to see Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
And then just the fact that like it was totally uncut and showing him like fuck up and then like just go back into it. Like I kind of liked it. I was like, oh, this is an interesting way of doing this. Like I feel like this is how it actually is. You know, when you're telling a speech and stuff, you don't remember every single line, so you're gonna mess up and go back into it. But just like the projector just beaming on his face, like he was just clearly just blind to anything, so they couldn't put up like cue cards or anything. And he just kept messing up, and right away just showing like these guys are idiots. We're making fun of the KKK in this movie.
No, 100%. Like as we were talking about just like the tone of the movie, this perfectly sets the tone of like what you're about to expected to see. You're like, oh, okay, I didn't realize this. If you didn't know what this movie was going to be like, you're like, okay, we're gonna be making fun of these guys.
Yeah.
Just show the how absurd the hatefulness of it, and just like him flubbing his lines, just like and just like, okay, let's do that again. Did I say that right? Should I say that right? Okay, let's do this again. It's just how stupid it is. Like you're shooting a YouTube video, and how it would really be. They're not live, so let's do that again. Let's do that again.
Yeah, that's a peek into the Film Room podcast production.
Yeah,
that's us every week.
Yeah, I flubbed before this. Actually, I did it in spirit of the movie. Actually,
true. Should I leave?
So maybe we should keep it.
Yeah,
that actually is hilarious too, because it's our intro, and I flubbed it.
Oh, that's so funny.
That actually is hilarious. Maybe we should. Maybe like an aspect of it, not the whole thing. Maybe just being like me flubbing and you being like, "Yo, you good?" And then just go, and then me going to the real part. I think we should, honestly.
Yeah. Okay.
And then this is out already, so either it's been done or it hasn't been done. But we're talking about it. We're good.
Yeah, that's true. That's you see, now you can just say you did it on purpose.
Yeah, that's true. I did do it on purpose.
There you go.
It was all because you know what's funny? Like the first time I watched this, like that little opening scene they show of like the end of the Civil War, it wasn't until like obviously the first time I watched it, I didn't do research on it because I wasn't doing a podcast. But this time I didn't realize that opening clip is from Gone with the Wind. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it's from. And are you familiar with Gone with the Wind? Like the movie?
I'm familiar with it, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen it either. It's actually always been a movie that I've been interested in seeing just like within like the film world, people have always said it's one of the biggest, one of the most successful movies of all time. And I always just thought, especially from the poster of it, that it's just like a romance movie because just like a man holding a woman, like he's like bowing her down.
Yeah.
And I knew that it was basically around like the Civil War time, so like I always thought it to be as like it's a romance story that's happening like around like while the Civil War is happening. And
Okay.
the only reason, honestly, that I hadn't watched it is because when I looked at the runtime. Have you seen the runtime for it?
No, no.
It's 3 hours and 58 minutes. It's
Oh,
long. Yeah, it's long. Which is,
damn.
yeah, they're definitely an intermission. They definitely had an intermission like right in the middle, and then you come
Yeah.
back like it's a play type thing. But I was like, damn, that's long. I still want to watch it, but then when I did more research on it,
Mm-hmm.
it's not as problematic as The Birth of a Nation, as we'll get into later,
Right.
but it's just as problematic in the sense of when I still haven't seen it, but I just wanted to get little tidbits on like what the movie's about. And basically it's like it's a movie about that romance, but it portrays the Confederacy more as like a noble and a tragic cause. So it's kind of pro Confederacy. And like in the
Okay.
movie, it's almost like a sad thing. It's like, oh no, we lost the war. Like it's more on that side.
Right. Okay.
It's where it's just like, oh man, like we're losing our rights. Like it's our right to have slaves. And now like, and they make they make it like a kinship between the slaves and owners and the slaves, where it's like almost
Oh.
like in a messed up way. It's like a owner and like a dog, basically like, oh man, he's Spiky. They don't want us to be together anymore.
Oh
Like
my
that kind of shit.
God.
And the slaves are like, oh man, like I want to be with
Oh
you. And
man,
they
we're
make it
gonna be
seem like
free.
yeah, exactly. They make it seem like slavery isn't that big of a deal. And it's more like the slaves are loyal to them and they're kind of on the board. Like, yeah, man, like we should be separated. Like we shouldn't be like apart. Like it's weird. Like that's the kind of, and it's kind of scary to think like that's one of the biggest movies of all time.
Yeah.
Like a pro Confederacy movie is one of the biggest movies of all time. And it's like, it kind of really depicts like the whole lost cause, like myth of like, oh man, like we're losing our rights
Yeah.
kind of movie.
Yeah. I mean, like it's like you can say it's scary that it's one of the most successful, but it came out in 1939.
Yeah.
So like like this movie's takes place in the 70s,
Yeah.
and you could see how racist people still are.
Yeah.
Another 40 years before that, it would have been even worse. Like
Yeah.
I feel like it just would have been what everybody was actually thinking at the time, just the way it was at the time. People were just like, oh man. And even just the history of the story, people being aware of it, like especially at that time, they didn't have the internet, so it's not
Yeah.
like information was super readily available and was
Mm.
spreading super easily. We even talked about last week when we did All Quiet on the Western Front, like the guy wouldn't have had the point of view of the negotiations of ending the war
Yeah.
and stuff like that, right? When you're in the trenches, same thing. Like when you're in the war, or even if you're not in the war, but it's just you don't have that access to the information of like what this war is exactly about and who's necessarily in the right or in the wrong, and slavery wasn't considered wasn't a bad thing at that time.
Yeah.
It was just reality.
No, 100%. It's like, and I don't remember if we had this on pod or off pod, this conversation, but I was saying how like I like watching old movies because you get a perception of what it was like at the time, and
Yeah.
like that. This literally goes to my point of like
Yep.
in this time, people are like, oh yeah, slavery, it wasn't that bad. It was just like, yeah, like they worked for the slave owners and like sure they couldn't leave, but like
But they fed them and housed them.
exactly.
And yeah, it was great.
Exactly. But it's like they don't show any of like the beatings or anything. Like this movie's just like, yeah, they work for me. That's how it's portrayed. Like, yeah, they just work for me. Like, and that's how it's portrayed. And it's like, yeah, it's so interesting sometimes to watch that because it's like it's a documentary in itself. Because it's like this is a fictional movie, but this is the perception and this is just the way it is in like in around this time, and nobody thought anything of it. Which is
Yeah.
it's long. I'm gonna have to watch it in intermissions. I can't. I don't know if I can watch
Damn.
all four at once.
It's a half day of work, man.
That's
4 hours. That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying, man.
And
It really is crazy.
But even people will look back on a movie like this being like, okay, it's a fictional story, but this is at that time the way they thought about the KKK. Like,
Yeah.
okay, they're making fun of them. They thought they were stupid. And in the future, maybe, like you said, the KKK is inclusive. Maybe they're going to be a absolutely fantastic group in a few years. You know,
Yeah, maybe.
and they're going to be like, wow, look at Spike Lee. He was making fun of them. How terrible is that?
Oh yeah,
They're great
You're
guys.
right. You're right. You really never know, man. I have one last thing on Gone with the Wind, just because I got curious about the not I mean it ties in because it's within the movie, and it gets mentioned again in the movie too. I was looking at the box office for it, and at the time it made 32 million. So I had to do the inflation on that,
yeah.
which is 740 million with
Damn.
inflation.
What was the budget? Like $50?
No, the budget was like apparently like a million or something like that, which with
Okay.
inflation I'm sure would be. I didn't do the inflation on the budget, but
Yeah.
the box office, I mean, that's crazy. And then over time, like just to give like a comparison, it made 32. That was like their box office, but like the record before that was Snow White, which made like 8 million.
Damn. So it
So
destroyed
it obliterated.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it
God.
obliterated it. And over like with all the re-releases and everything,
Mhm.
it's technically the most successful movie of all time because the movie has made over 400 million, and adjusted for inflation, that's like $4 billion.
God damn.
That's more than Avatar, it's more than Avengers, more than Jurassic Park. Like it technically is the most successful movie of all time.
I mean, yeah, like over longevity, because like we said, it's almost 100 years old at this point.
Yeah.
So like the remakes and stuff, like there's just more time for people to watch it. So
Yeah.
like maybe more people will continue to watch. I don't know if Avatar is getting spun a whole lot, but like
Yeah.
maybe people,
Yeah.
if people are showing their kids the MCU or something, and then bring that up to Avengers, and people will continue to watch that, like maybe it'll grow. But like for a 4-hour movie to
That's
be
what
the
I'm
longest
saying.
of all, or the best of all time, that's crazy.
They recently did a re-release too. Like I remember, like it must have been like in 2019, because like it's always on the 9s where you can do like whatever it's how many years it's been.
Oh,
Because I remember there was a re-release of Gone with the Wind, and I was thinking about going. I didn't even, and then I was like, that's when I realized the runtime. I'm like 4 hours. I'm like, I don't got time in the.
that's insane.
That's got to be a weekend at noon, and maybe I'll go see it.
I will say though, I have watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy extended edition, and those are all 4 hours.
That's fair. Different is different though. You're not watching a movie about the Confederacy. It's a little
That's
more of
true.
a different watch.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, it's a different watch. But hey, it's a love story at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, I get that is true. That is
Between
true. I'm still
two
curious.
Pure Aryan race, elevated white people.
Exactly. Yeah, that's all I have on really like the intro. Like I don't know if you had any if you want to jump in like on the first phone call that he has.
Yeah, that was fucking incredible. I mean, that was basically still even that tone, because like he comes in right at first and he's very professional, right? He's trying to get a job as a policeman, so he's being very professional, talking very well, I guess.
Yeah.
And then he jumps on the phone call and immediately, "Hey there, Ron Stallworth here.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in your group. I hate the Mexicans. I hate Asians. I hate black everything." And I was like, "Yeah, this is fantastic stuff." He was killing me the whole movie, man.
The thing that killed me the most about that is like when everyone like tuned, because he was using obviously we're not going to say slurs on here, but he was saying all the slurs, and then they all just like start turning over like, what is he saying? Adam Driver's like slow turnover, like all right, what's going on back there? This guy's like first day on the job, and we're like, what is he doing over there? Who's he talking to? Because out of context, you're like, what's going on over there?
Yeah, you don't know that is, because I mean, he wasn't investigating the KKK when he joined this team, right? First goes undercover at the Black Panther rally.
Yes.
And then they just hear him yelling all this stuff. They're like, what the heck's going on? The whole slurs thing did raise a question for me though, because like Spike Lee has very publicly criticized Tarantino for using the N-word, and he won't watch Django because it, he's bringing light on slavery, and not making fun of it, but just making a fictional story around it. That's not a place for a spaghetti western.
Yeah.
But this movie has so many homophobic, anti-Semitic slurs like that. Like, he's black, so putting in the N-word in, I guess, is is fine. I don't have an issue with that. But like, if you're gonna be mad at Tarantino for putting the N-word, and then you're gonna put Jewish and homophobic slurs in yours, like, what's going on here, Spike?
I see your point. I see both sides of it, because I was thinking the same thing too with knowing that context. But Tarantino, it's damn near in every movie. And his movies are just like, are supposed to be fun movies.
Yeah.
that I think that's the issue. It's in Reservoir Dogs, it's in Pulp Fiction, it's in the movies that he wrote, that he like True Romance. It's in I think there was some in Jackie Brown. Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah,
definitely
Samuel L.
Jackie
saying
Brown.
the N-word. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like these movies are supposed to be the kind of like fun crime movies, and there's no really messaging. Obviously, it's in Django. I don't know. I can't remember if it's in the Hateful Eight. I don't think it's in. It's like it's
Yeah,
basically in
definitely
every
in the
one of his
Hateful Eight.
movies.
Definitely in the Hateful
Like
Eight.
you can go through Spike Lee's movies, and he's not doing this in every single one of them. This movie had a point, but they're all. I do also agree on the other side where it's like, well, you're using the other stuff,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think the only pushback is like Tarantino's using it in a lot of his
In a
stuff,
lot
where
of
it's
them.
like
That's
probably
fair.
you didn't need to have it in there, but I think you're having fun with the word.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. That's fair.
Yeah.
He does do it in a lot of them. But I don't know. Just when I was like, when they were screaming, and again, like, you're making fun of the KKK, so it makes sense that they're in here.
Yeah.
And they're gonna say they would have said all of these slurs and stuff. So
Yeah.
it makes sense. But it's not like in the Tarantino movies, it doesn't make sense that it's there.
No, for sure.
But
I think
but it
more
is a
so.
lot of them.
I
That's
think
fair.
it's more so in the Ron phone call where you can question it, where it's like this almost was played for comedy. Like I'm saying how it was kind of funny the way Adam Driver turned around because the absurdity is the comedy aspect, and I think a lot of the times with the way Tarantino used it, sometimes it was played for comedy. It's something like, yeah, this is a bad guy saying the N word, but there's a lot of lines when it's just like a guy saying the N word, and it's like it's played for comedy. It's not even supposed to be like if we want to talk about, I mean, Samuel Jackson's character is white. I mean, black. Sorry, but sometimes those characters will be saying the N word, and it's like a cool bad guy. You know what I mean? These KKKs
Yeah.
aren't cool bad guys. We're supposed to hate them, and like there'll be characters in Tarantino movies that are saying the N word, and they're supposed to be kind of likable. And they're like, okay, well, what is that? What messaging is that kind of showing? Like, I don't know if you've
Like
seen
who,
True
though?
Romance.
No, I
Have you
haven't.
seen True Romance?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, Christopher Walken's character has this one, like this whole speech that's actually it's pretty funny, and he says the N word a lot, and like
Okay.
the kind of takeaway is like obviously like everyone's gonna have a different viewing experience, but like as a black, I still thought it was funny, but it is kind of one of those things where it's like this guy's gonna be supposed to be kind of likable, and he's saying the N word a lot, like hard R,
Mm.
and I think most people are just like, oh, that scene was so funny. I'm like, yeah, I guess it was funny, but it's I don't know, like we're supposed to kind of like that guy, and he's saying that hard R.
Yeah.
It
Just
is
rubs you
it
the
is
wrong
like
way a bit.
yeah, it kind of does, yeah.
So are you? So you're? So you? Do you agree with Spike? I mean,
No, I'm saying
this
I'm in
doesn't
the
have
middle
to be
with
that
it.
conversation, but like, I'm just curious.
Well, I mean, this is the movie we're talking about.
Yeah,
It fits with it. I'm saying that's why when you said that, it's like I see it both sides because like the spin of like the first phone call where it's like that is like this is played for comedy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He is trying to prove to the KKK. He didn't have to say all the other people though. He could just stuck to black people and being like, yeah, I hate N words, and
Yeah.
just stuck. That's all they want to hear.
Right.
You didn't have to say
That's
You
true.
didn't have to say every other race. That's played for comedy, and that kind of goes with what Tarantino does. Where sometimes he just will like it's gonna be really funny if we say the N word right here. That will just make it extra more funny. It doesn't really evolve the story or anything right there. You know what I mean? Like it's just gonna be funny if this character says the N word here
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
it's
I
shock.
guess.
It's shock humor.
True. True. But I mean, like, even when Adam Driver is saying, uh, he says like a lot of homophobic slurs and stuff, and he's doing it to gain the trust of the KKK
Yeah,
members, especially Felix, who's the most radical one.
yeah,
But like, so like it makes sense in the story. Like, it's not like they're saying it for nothing.
yeah.
It makes sense that it's there, but to me, I'm just like, you're not the one that can decide that that's okay if you're then bashing other people for doing the same thing with the N word. But you're right. It just the quantity of Tarantino films. That's a good point.
And then well, not the last thing because we can go on as long as we want. But another thing
Yeah.
I'll say about at least the Adam Driver thing is the way I kind of looked at it too, because the Spike Lee thing came on my mind as I was rewatching this and thinking about that whole Tarantino and him kind of like beef, which is kind of funny because I have a Tarantino movie right here, and then we're also
That's
talking
true.
about. So it's like this is a little sacrilegious as we're talking about a Spike Lee movie, but it's because Prem Gure is in it, so I had to also do it because
True. Yeah, the
yeah,
black exploitation. They talk about her in this
exactly,
movie. Yeah.
exactly. But I think it helps it also be inclusive too, because if this in a weird way of like, yeah, the KKK really hates black people, but just so like if you're someone that's not black watching this, or hey, remember they don't like Jewish people either, they don't like gay people either, they don't like any of us. So
Yeah.
like just as a reminder to everyone that's non-black watch, because the black people watching this movie already know, and they're like already F the KKK. Some people are like, hey, remember these guys don't like all of us.
Yeah.
Just remember that this is not just a black issue; it's
Right.
all of us issue. These guys love just their race and they hate everyone. And it's not even just their race. If you also don't like the same have sexuality as them, they also don't like you either. So I
Right.
think that is actually important to actually be in there.
See, that's fair, but like in the same sense of like you don't have to then use the slurs. You could still
Yeah, no.
communicate that to be, like you say, inclusive. And there's even sections when um, David Duke is like, before the initiation, he's explaining like there's a scientific study that was done that the white is the superior race. We're better at this and we're better at that, and like it's a scientific fact, can't be argued. So like that is something that says the same thing. Like it's not just black people. We don't like anybody else. It's white people that are superior than everybody, and there, you can say the same thing about gay people. You know, just have like we have an issue with. But again, it's authentic. They would actually say this stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
But if you're making the argument that like you don't have to have it in there because you're using it for comedy, then like you can still communicate that inclusivity without using the slurs themselves.
That's
can.
true, but I agree you can. And this is definitely like something that's debatable, and I see both sides of it. And with I think when you do put the slurs in there in like a weird way, it makes it more impactful because it sparks more of a thing. When if someone says like, yeah, he called me the N-word, it's like, oh yeah. But if you actually say it, then it's like, oh, like you actually feel it more. You know what I mean? And it's like there's the song that came out with Kendrick, like when he's talking, I can't remember the exact song. It was on like Mr. Morale album. And he talked about how like he says the F slur on it. And people are like, did he really need to say the F slur? But it's like he's letting you know what he was like, because in the story it transitions like, oh, because his aunt was gay. So like he was saying that, oh, we used to say this word, and then by the end of the song he stopped saying it because it's like, oh, I realized that was messed up. He doesn't necessarily have to say it, but it makes more impact because when he says, you're like, oh snap, he said it. That's messed up. And then it tells the story like legit. He's like, this is what we were saying. So you actually get the hurtful thing we were saying, and then we realize that like, yeah, we shouldn't be saying it. I love my aunt. I don't care who she likes. I don't care how she dresses, all that stuff. That's my aunt. And then he stopped saying it. And it's like, to me, it's impactful because it's like authentic to like, we were saying that and now we stopped. Can he do that song without saying it? Yeah. But then people aren't talking about it because he said it in the song. If he doesn't say it in the song, then people just don't talk about it. So like I understand that aspect of the art with it, where it's like having it in there makes it sharp and makes it more meaningful and makes it controversial. But as long as you're telling a story that makes sense, it's not, again, just for laughs.
See,
where
but
it's like there was no messaging at all, where it's just like, oh, that was a funny scene. He said the N-word a bunch, and it's just like there's no conversation that goes past. That was hilarious.
But in the same sense of like the Christopher Walken monologue that you're talking about, like Adam Driver's a character in this movie that we're supposed to like. He's a good guy. And he's using the slurs because he has to, like I said, to gain the trust of the KKK. Like when he's out of character, when he's not pretending to be Ron Stallworth, he's not using these slurs. But I get why he has to in the story, but it still is that likable character that we're supposed to be rooting for using these slurs.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It makes it complex for sure.
Yeah, again, I don't have an issue with it. I mean, I'm not gay, I'm not Jewish, so like again, I'm not necessarily the person that can say that if this is right or wrong. But again, just like it makes sense for the story of why it's in there. It's not like they're just saying it for no reason.
Yeah, for sure. And like to jump, like one of my next notes was about like the lie detector scene.
Yeah,
because like I thought it was a good this was a good scene that was emphasizing like the stupidity like of their hate speech, like when he's just saying all that stuff, and he's like, you're not circumstanced, are you? Like,
yeah.
Like stupid little stuff like that.
Yeah, you got something. You got something with your Jewish dick. What's going on? What's going on there?
Exactly, where it's like that perfect balance where like always like dunking on them and being like, these guys are so stupid, like they don't know what they're talking about. You got freaking Paul Hauser's character that's like is a damn fool. They can barely talk.
See, I was like, one, is he stupid or is he always drunk? I think it's probably a little bit of both.
Yeah, I think it is a little bit of both.
But yeah, he's like just like his whole character is just a complete blubbering idiot. Felix is like, he's an idiot, but
Yeah.
he's very just hate driven. His wife almost even more so.
Oh yeah, it's gross,
insane.
man. Yeah, she's like they romanticize over it.
Oh yeah,
that's like the core values of their relation.
We dreamed about killing black people, and now it's actually a reality. And they're like cuddling and kissing each other. I love you, baby. I can't believe we're doing this. It's crazy.
Yeah, it really is crazy. There's one thing that's like to go with the whole like saying like the Adam Driver thing, like when. Because again, I thought it was crazy suspense. Like I remember when I first watched this movie, I'm like, "How the heck is he getting out of this?" Like, part of me was like, "Is he trained?" Because there's the whole thing. I don't know. Probably wasn't at the time where people are trained to beat lie detector tests. So I don't know about you. I don't know how you were feeling in that situation. I didn't know if he had like a specific way, like you control your heart rate or all those like.
I mean, honestly, my initial thought was kind of like feel like Felix is an idiot.
Yeah.
Is he even going to know how to read this thing? Like if he puts on the lie detector test and asks these questions, he's lying. Maybe he can just like convince him that he's not. Like no, that's actually how this machine works, right? Because then you could say like, "Is your name Ron Stallworth?" And he says yes. That's a lie. And that would come up as like the lie on the thing, and see, that's what happens when I tell the truth. And you know what I mean?
Oh
like,
yeah, true.
That would be a good way to get out of it. But then to have actual Ron, come in, throw the rock through the window, and then there's that, and then when he chases him out, Felix is gonna shoot him. So Adam Driver grabs the gun and shoots at the ground. And so, oh, you spear chucking Africa, he does all that stuff. I had seen that clip before this. So going into the movie, I was like, this guy's like a racist piece of shit. And then I came in and I was like, oh, he's a good guy. I was just thrown for a loop just because I had seen that clip.
I was gonna say I was gonna ask you if you seen that clip because I remember I was telling Eloise, I was like, I remember that clip, which is a wild clip to be known for. No context clip to see from Adam Driver. You're like, what movie is this? Like, what's going on? And the comment sections for all those clips are always hilarious, where it's just like the line was "Get out of here."
Amazing stuff. That's so funny, man.
Where it's like, oh, interesting ad lib there.
I really think my character would have said this. Not me, but I'm just for the movie. I'm really trying to enhance the film here.
There's a perfect note that I had on that too, because Topher Grace, who plays David Duke, like the guy from that '70s show, which I can never look at the same now. If I ever watched that '70s show,
that '70s show. He's
David Duke. No, but I'm saying he's David
Venom.
Duke now. That is true. He is Venom
too.
But I remember he talked about in an interview how he's like, yeah, this isn't the movie for ad-libbing. This is 100%. You stay to the script because because he was like, I remember I went to go watch Django because I watched the behind the scenes and started asking him how did you guys feel comfortable, being on set with black people and being screaming that, and he was just people were telling him was it doesn't get comfortable. It's just it's just kind of uncomfortable. And he was saying Spike helped me a lot because he was like, hey, this is my vision. It's okay. Everyone understands. You know what I mean? Right. No one's looking at you yo, why is he saying that? Everyone knows that's your line. So just that you can relax. And he was also saying how he's one things that directors do at sometimes they'll look at lines on the sheet and they'll be like, you know what? They'll come over to the person and be like, I actually want you to say say the line like this, or actually scrap that, actually say this line. And he says that's normal. Usually they come and whisper in your ear and then you say it, and then the person will kind of react. But he was like, for this though, Spike would come over. I'd be like, you know what, Spike? Can you say that out loud? I don't want people thinking I ad-libbed this. I want everyone to know what I'm about to say. I don't want any surprises. I'm not for this role.
Yeah. That's hilarious. That's a really good point, actually. Yeah, true. If he's really go hard R here.
Yeah.
And no one's expecting you to do that. And you're just like, Topher, what the fuck, man?
Yeah. Yeah. And you imagine Spike's that's crazy. The line was just he winks at him.
Damn, Topher, what the hell, bro? What's your problem, man? I told you to say Ron Stallworth. What are you doing? Yeah, that'd be hilarious. But that's funny that you say no, this is the kind of the movie that you stick to the script. Because like I said in General Thoughts, it really doesn't feel like that.
Yeah,
I guess that's just, I guess in Spike's vision, in his direction, be no, talk really loose. I don't want it to be dramatic, punch every line. I want you to talk like normal people. Yeah. And it really felt like that. So it really felt like improvisation. It felt really unscripted. I thought that they were ad-libbing quite a bit, especially when Ron is talking with Patrice.
Yeah.
The black girl, the leader of the student council or whatever.
Group, yeah.
Um, in all their conversations, like if they're when they're hanging out or there's just two of them and they're kind of joking around with each other, it felt super loose. I don't know, maybe that speaks to their chemistry as well. But even just him and Adam Driver, like when they're practicing lines of like, okay, you're Ron Stallworth, where are you from? I'm from here. This is what I do, and it just felt so casual and like
Yeah.
they weren't sticking to a script.
No,
So
hundred
that's
percent.
funny that like he said the complete opposite.
Maybe there was like a little more loose ad-libbing when there was no like racist rants.
Right. Yeah.
But when you're going crazy and saying slurs and stuff, I feel like those are very much like, at least he said for on his side, he's like, I
Right.
wasn't doing any ad-libbing. Like for
Yeah.
the most part, like we weren't, the KKK members weren't ad-libbing because people looked at us crazy.
Yeah, let me really get into character. Let me do some blackface. Let me, really
Yeah,
read up on penitentiary numbers and yeah, let's get into character so I can really feel the hatred. And
that
'cause,
was
like,
another thing. Yeah,
that
go
would
on.
mess you up. That could mess you
Oh,
up. I remember
100%.
Leo talking about that from Django, being like, I had a really hard time with that.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. Topher talked about that more in detail about like he just had a kid around the time, and his wife was like, "All right, enough racist rhetoric. Like I'm bringing the daughter into the room. Like
Okay,
I don't
yeah.
want her picking up something. Or her first word's gonna be something that we don't want them
The
to be."
N word is her first
Yeah,
word.
you
That'd be
imagine?
crazy.
They were like, "What?" I was like, "I was doing a role. That's why."
I promise.
I don't know why. I don't know why that's her first. That'd be horrible.
Yeah, that would not be good. I feel like you
Um,
just wipe that, be like, no one heard that, right? That wasn't her first word. It was mommy. It
Yeah,
was mommy.
exactly. Her first word was "mommy."
Yeah. I mean, I even read that like after the movie, it kind of made him a little bit depressed. Like he kind of fell into a not so good space, and he
Yeah.
apparently took on a solo project of cutting the all three Hobbit films into one like 2 hour movie,
Hmm. Oh,
like just to
really?
like get his
Oh,
mind
just a
off things, like
personal thing.
yeah, just to
Yeah.
like focus on. And I don't, you haven't seen those, the Hobbit
No, I
movies?
have seen them. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you have. I
Yeah,
could
I've seen
totally
them.
see. I mean, I feel like anybody could do that. Just those movies are so dragged out. It's literally 3 movies based on one
Yeah.
book.
No, for sure.
So cutting it down, like I want to see that version.
Yeah,
Topher,
no, I'm interested. Yeah,
send us that.
100%. 100%. I'm curious. We were talking about it with the whole Ron and Patrice thing. Like, how did you feel
Mm.
about that dynamic in the movie? Like, hiding that element of romance.
Yeah, I mean, it's important to the story. She's really important to the story.
Yeah.
So like, it's not like she's only there to be like his love interest.
Mhm.
But that was also something that I don't want to say confused me, but felt a little weird. Like early on, like when he shows up to that Black Panther meeting,
Yeah.
and he introduces himself and everything. It didn't feel like they were meeting for the first time.
Yeah,
But
no, it didn't.
but
The way he
apparently
was
they
hitting
were.
on her.
Yeah,
The
and
way he
then
was
they,
hitting
like,
on her. I guess he's just smooth with it.
yeah, you're right. Apparently, but
Yeah.
and then they have this connection moving forward that I was like, oh, I thought this was a lasting relationship or like a pre-established relationship, but
No, that's a really good point
No.
because I felt the exact same way when I first watched the movie. I was like, "Oh, okay, they know each other," because it felt so. But then after watching it a second time, already knowing that, and then hearing their first interaction, you realize I'm like, "Oh yeah, they don't know each other." Because he's like, "Oh, because he's saying, oh, you're the leader of this person. Like, can I cut the line?" And she's like, "No, no, no, no." So like from that, when you look back at that conversation, it's like, "Oh yeah, they don't know each other," but just how smooth they are with each other, it feels. Like
I
they
think
don't like they
I think
know
as
each other.
well it was like because he pulls up and she's talking to 2 other people, right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And then the other 2 people are kind of like looking at him sideways. And
Mhm.
then Patrice is like, "No, it's okay. Like, you can go. Like, I'll talk
Yeah,
to
that's
this guy."
true.
See, I thought it was like, "No, it's okay. Like, I know this guy."
I know him.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's true. That is a good point. Because then also when you think about it, it's like, why were those two? Because you would think that those two, like the ex boyfriend pulling up, trying to get the game back or something. They're like,
Right.
not this dude again.
Yeah.
That's how it felt like. Because like when you think about like why were they giving stank eye just to a black dude
Yeah.
randomly
He's
on
black.
the street?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not like he had
I
his
don't know.
badge on him.
Right. No, yeah, he was undercover. They didn't know he was a cop. Yeah, I don't know. It was that's I guess why I was just like, I assumed they knew each other, and even right after she's like, okay, well, you can't cut the line. Nobody cuts the line, because even just the fact that he was like, oh, can I get a cut in line? I was like, if you don't know this girl, why would she let you cut the line?
Yeah,
I was just
no,
like, I thought,
100%.
I'm your man, like let me cut the line, and she did like a funny thing, like no, nobody gets a cut, because right after she's like, oh, well, meet me at the joint or whatever it was.
Yeah, juke joint. Is sinners? You
Yeah,
got
no,
sinners on the mic.
Yeah, exactly. I got the poster right here.
Yeah,
So
that's
you got
true.
Jackie
You got the
Brown, I
poster.
got Sinner.
That's a good point though. Like I remember I did a little digging just to see what like some similarities between the book and like we said they took liberties because apparently
Mhm.
like Ron in real life was already married. Like this whole like dynamic was kind of like made up for it. But I feel
Mhm.
like it worked. Like it didn't just feel like a shoe in to like let's get some romance in here because
Right.
again I feel like it was a good way of like contrasting because we spent a lot of time with the KKK. Like this is a way for us to spend time with the other side,
Mhm.
where there's at least a connection too. Because Ron in real life was actually investigating the Black Panthers and the KKK at the same time.
Yeah.
This doesn't. We don't get as much as him. Like after the first meeting, it doesn't feel like he's not investigating them in the movie. It just sticks with the KKK stuff, which is fine because I think that could make the story a little drawn out if you
Yeah.
play with both dynamics because that's not what the really movie's about also.
Yeah, and I think there's a couple things there. I think she one is like the climax revolves around her, right? They're trying
Yeah,
to blow
that
her
too.
up. So like that
Mhm.
like it makes sense that she's in the story and she's a main character of the story because we have to learn why they want to kill her, right?
Mhm.
But also I think it makes it more interesting for Ron because like you say we're spending a lot of time with the KKK who are extreme right, and then we spend time with Patrice and the Black Panthers who are extreme left, and they're
Yeah.
like, we hate cops and screw the white people, liberation of our people, and Ron's in the middle,
Yeah.
right? He doesn't hate cops, he is a cop. He doesn't hate
Mhm.
white people, he deals with white people, he works with white people all the time,
Yeah.
but he also is for the liberation of his people. So he's not on either side. So like you
Yeah.
have the extreme right, extreme left, and then you have Ron in the middle. I think that's an interesting dynamic.
No, for sure. It's that exact like the exact conflict that put like the whole pigs versus cops thing. Like he's like
Yeah.
right in the middle of it, where he's just like almost blowing his cover because he's trying to keep it. But he's like, I don't call them pigs. Like they're just cops. It's like, oh, dude, chill
Yeah.
out, man. You're supposed to be you're undercover here. Like play the role. What are you doing, dog?
Yeah.
Like you can pretend to be a white supremacist, but you can't pretend to not to be like to hate pigs.
Sure. Yeah, that's true. What the hell, Ron?
That's crazy, man.
That is crazy. That's a good point. You could say all these slurs and pretend to do that, but you won't dare call a cop a pig.
That's that's what I'm saying. I only really
That's a
thought
good
about it
point.
until just now. I'm like, God,
Yeah,
why?
that's a good point though.
Come on, Ron. I don't know if that's the real Ron or if that was just that's a Spike Lee-ism for the movie. So I'm
It
not gonna
might
put that
be.
on the real Ron. Who knows? But
But
yeah, no, I think it works well. Like at
yeah.
having it didn't just feel like a shoot in because, like you said, she works into the climax of the movie,
Mhm.
which always like it actually makes sense. So it's not just like a romance. Like, oh, let's take a break from the racist stuff. Let's just have his
Yeah.
romance that he has on
Yeah,
the
because you
side.
have that a lot in movies where it's like, okay, this is our main character. Who's his love interest? And it's like, why
Yeah,
does that, like, it has no bearing on the story. It's just showing, like, look, this guy has a girl. And it's like, who
exactly.
even cares? But that's not the, I think, too, like, in that scene, like, when he meets her, because then we get the whole speech, right? Kwame Ture's speech
Yeah.
about, Black Power and stuff.
Mm.
And then while he's talking, which is a crazy monologue, by the way, this guy's goes nuts.
Yeah.
There's all those inserts of people like black people like just looking straight ahead and
Yeah.
like this very Spike Lee.
Yeah.
What did that mean to you? What do you
What do
think
you
that
mean?
was? Like, do you think that was a subtext for something? Like, was it just like to me, what I got from it was like, okay, it's just because they weren't like crying or super happy or sad or anything. Like there wasn't any clear emotion on their face. To me, they were just like locked in. So I guess it was kind of just showing the reaction of the crowd, like really taking what he's saying and really listening and being
Mhm.
grabbed by it. But I was wondering if you had any other thoughts on what that was there for.
I don't know. I didn't specifically have any takeaways with it because especially because I was trying to really like think about like what time it was because I don't think they actually do timestamp, and if it is, it's not like a giant like this is the year it is like in big
Right.
bold. I later looked and found out that it was supposed to be 1972. In the book, it's actually 1979, but he changed it to 1972 because I think that's around the time Nixon was doing the
Yeah.
whole like war what's it called war on drugs thing, which I have to say as a side note Futurama has ruined Nixon for me. Whenever I say the name Nixon, yeah, that's all I think of when I think of Nixon. I just think of it.
Okay.
It's just his
Yeah.
head in a thing. So
Yeah,
whenever I
yeah,
hear
in a
the
jar.
name Nixon, immediately that's all.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
all I think of. But I know I was trying to make some kind of connection to that. As you said, I'm thinking of like, does this? It didn't feel like specifically they were talking about the war on drugs. It's just like liberation in general.
Mhm.
So to me, I didn't. The imagery didn't. The imagery with the speech didn't resonate to a specific thing to me that I think he was leading towards, besides just liberation.
Okay. So do you think kind of I guess along the lines of what I was saying, just like that they're locked in, buying into what he's saying. Like
Yeah,
this is good
basically.
stuff. Okay.
I think it
Yeah,
was
because I mean,
important. Oh,
well, go
sorry.
ahead.
Sorry, you're
Go
saying.
ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, apparently Ron said that he actually did go to a meeting
Yeah.
and he did feel liberated. Like, this was the first time he ever went to one of these meetings. So I think it was just showing the power
Mm-hmm.
on both sides. Like later on in the movie, you see speeches from the KKK and just seeing how they get liberated and how they kind of like get into their propaganda and just like really sink in this stuff. So I think he wanted to show it on the other side. I think that, to me, that's what I just saw that as, of just like constantly trying to show you contrasts of
Yeah.
this side versus that side.
Okay. I just feel like there was like that was clearly a decision, like an intentional
Yeah.
decision. Okay, I want to get these close-ups of these people. I'm going to work it
Mhm.
in throughout the speech. I feel like there has to be a reason for it, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it. Maybe we're right. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I like jokes. All jokes aside, this I guess this kind of is a joke. But when I saw that imagery, I just immediately thought of like the Fugees like poster, like all their.
Mm.
It's just like their heads. It's got the black background thing. That's
Yeah.
literally the only thing I thought of.
Okay.
Just like a stylistic choice.
Right.
I didn't know if the floating head kind of thing was like a actual like tie to something that I just didn't end up connecting with. But
Okay.
that was all I got, unfortunately.
No, that's fine. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
we are right, and there's not that much to it. It really is just like really communicating the power of what he's saying. Because I mean, yeah, you can get it as an audience. Like I said, like he kills the speech, and like I feel it as a member of the audience. But like, I guess that could be just be in there to be like, okay, no, like these people are also really into this speech, like whether you are or not, because some people it might not hit for them.
Yeah.
But I want to let you know that the people in this room are being affected by this speech.
Yeah, no, 100%. So again, let me know if I'm jumping off ahead and you want to. There's another aspect you want to talk about, but the Ron protection for Duke, I thought that was like another great, because I talked about how the lie detector was a great tension building. That when you find out that Ron has to be the security for David Duke, immediately you're just like on edge for so many reasons. One, just because it's a black dude that's is gonna do security for the KKK, and then also the fact that both Rons are gonna be in the same room. Like, I don't know how you
Right.
felt about as that was like building up.
Yeah, I mean, I was just more confused, like, because they protested, right? They're like,
Yeah.
"Sir, I don't think this is a good idea."
Yeah, which it isn't.
Like, which it isn't. Yeah. So like, why is that the detail? And he comes in, he's like, "No, people are," because there's that other racist cop that's with
Yeah.
him. What's his name?
Oh yeah, I forget his name. But he's like, everyone
Jim?
else is busy. I'm like,
Yeah,
I
he's like,
think we
everyone else is
can-
busy working on other stuff. I'm like, there are literally multiple people. There are multiple white people on this case.
Yeah, I know.
What are you talking about? Give it to another like, so like, because at that point, like that cop is established as racist, right? He
Yeah.
stops Patrice and Kwame, and he gropes her even, and
Yeah.
like, you know, they even mentioned that he killed a black kid like the year
Yeah.
before or something like that. So this guy is okay. This is a bad cop.
Mhm.
The chief, though, who gives him the assignment, I was like, no, he's working with him. He seems like a good dude. Like by the end, he's excited for them and like even arrests that guy. So like this is
Yeah.
meant to be a good guy. Why is he giving him this case?
Yeah,
Or
I
this
don't know.
assignment?
Yeah, why is he letting this guy? What is it? Andy Landers was his name.
Is that
Why-
okay? That's his name.
Yeah, I'm seeing it on IMDb. Like, yeah, why is he letting him convince? Because he already knows this guy's a racist. Everybody knows apparently. It's just like, yeah, but we're a fraternity. Like, we don't turn on each other.
Right.
Why are you letting the guy that you know doesn't like black people be like, hey, I think this guy should be the security for David Duke? Wouldn't your like antennas go up? Be like, okay, well, I know you want our cop to get hurt in some way or something
Yeah.
like that. Like, I know what you're. Yeah, I don't know why.
So
I
I
don't know
was
why you would
so
let
at
him.
that point I was kind of like, oh, maybe the chief isn't a good dude. Like maybe he's
Mhm.
messing with them too. And then that's not the case. So that confused me a little bit. But you're right. I was just like when he goes and introduces him to when Ron introduces himself to David Duke, and right away he's just like, "You're my security detail,"
Yeah,
and he's like,
yeah.
"Yes, I understand. We have our differences, but I'm very professional, and I'll protect you to the best of my ability. Yeah, I'll respect your professionalism.
Professionalism.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But to me, it was crazy when he was talking to him. Like, yo, you sound like your exact self on the phone, bro. Like,
I
speak with
know.
some jive or something, man. Like,
Because that's what the chief said. He was like, "Oh, well, you're the one that came to me and said you're fluent in jive and
yeah,
proper English." So I was expecting him to come and lean into that black speak or the jive, like
yeah.
he said, and then he doesn't do that. I'm like, "What are you doing, bro?"
And immediately Duke was like, "Do I know you from somewhere?" I'm like, "Dog." He's immediately he's catching on to what you're putting down. Like,
Yeah, that
yeah,
was weird.
that was crazy. He did
Yeah,
not. he did not play the character. It
but
didn't feel like it at all. To be
no,
honest, it felt exactly the only thing that like he sounded a little more uppity, just like in his tone when he was on the phone, like I don't know, like a little
yeah,
more
yeah,
like the which
transatlantic.
whatever, yeah, transatlantic, like
Uh,
voice, and saying
hey,
white,
see, white,
white,
yeah,
white.
white.
Which is funny because I
Aura.
heard the real, yeah, I saw the real Ron talk, and he says white like that. So I think that's
Does he?
why.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I think John David Washington saw that and was like, okay, I gotta throw that white in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to do that. And then when they actually go into the banquet and he's standing there and Felix and Ivanhoe are like, "You stay right here." Like they
Yeah,
obviously
exactly.
they hate the guy. Like, and that apparently that's real. Like he actually was with. I don't know if he was Ron Stall, the real Ron Stallworth. I don't think he was actually like David Duke's security detail, but he
Mhm.
was actually like working or not working with, but
In
like kind of
communications with them.
yeah, in communication with the
Yeah.
KKK. So like just having that, like John David Washington apparently like was calling him and be like, how did you like stay level headed just amongst all this hate? Like even in the banquet scene, right? Like everyone's just giving him the side eye and everything. He asked for that picture, and they're all just super like
Yeah,
weird
grossed
about it.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he grabs him, pulls him
That
into
was hilarious. Then
what
he
the hell
runs
did you
for the
just do,
picture.
boy?
Yeah, he runs for the picture and just like,
Oh,
I'm keeping that.
that's amazing.
I wish that was real. That obviously wasn't real. That was just a movie thing,
Yeah,
but it's a great moment because it
that
just
was
looks so
fantastic.
like it's a hilarious thing of like I'm gonna show everybody because no one's gonna believe I got a picture with David Duke, and then also like look how like I got to hold on to
Like
them.
we're
They're gonna like
buddies. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. If you throw that picture out there, like hey look, he says all that, but look at him, he's buddy
yeah.
buddy with them. It ruins his image in that sense, which
Exactly.
is
Yeah, to me, which was the whole point.
yeah
But
exactly.
then by the end, like after the case, they have to like stop the investigation, shut down everything, destroy all the records.
Mm.
I don't know if that is true. I was
That
wondering
is
if that
true
was
actually.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah, that is true that they shut it down and like they had to get rid of all the records. But he did like the phone call at the end didn't happen, like him
mm,
revealing like, hey, that officer that didn't happen. But he came back and didn't. He burned a couple things, but he kept a lot of stuff obviously so we could end up writing the book.
yeah.
But that part
Okay,
about shutting it down was actually real, and
yeah.
the
Which
fact that there was actually two people that were part of like that were part of like security, like working in the Pentagon within the KKK. Like, remember when
mm,
they're like,
yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, who are those guys? Like, that was actually real too. They actually ended
Right.
up finding out that like, oh, damn, there's actually like high level guys within this organization.
Yeah, that I mean that doesn't surprise me at all. I
Yeah,
mean,
no,
also in the movie it makes sense too because that I guess is that's how they get the C4 and everything, right? They're
yeah,
like, oh,
no, for
there's
sure.
something happened in the storage of this facility or whatever. But I
Mhm.
liked that it was shut down again, not even knowing if it was real or not yet. Anyways,
Yeah,
at the end of the movie, because to me it just makes sense. Like the whole movie is like push back, push back, push back. He's the first black cop ever
yeah,
at this location. And it makes sense that like, yeah, it means you did a great job. You exposed members of the KKK and a crime that they committed. But like as a country and as a community, we're not ready for this to
yeah,
continue, for us to like blow this whole thing up. Which
yeah.
is like which is crazy to say that like we're not ready for it. And even today, like you said,
Yeah.
the KKK still exists, and
Mhm.
there's still a whole lot of craziness going on that we don't need to talk about go on a
Yeah, no,
crazy
for
tangent
sure.
about all of that stuff. But like we're just not ready for racism to end, which is absolutely insane to say, but like it's
Yeah,
true.
I know. Just like the fact that we talked about the beginning of the episode, the fact that KKK still exists, and there's a whole Bill Burr like bit about it where he's talking about like all the things that have been closed down, all the things that we can't do. He's like, but the KKK can still get together and be a group, which is just like why? Like he's like
What are
we
we
all
doing?
know what they stand for, what they have stand for. Like why are they allowed to be a
Yeah.
group? Like the freedom of speech, but like the things that they've done and all that stuff is just like it's just like it's a interesting thing to think about when you're just like, why can they?
I mean, it's like in the movie, there's high ranking people that are probably a part of
Yeah,
the organization.
no, exactly, 100%. And to even go on to that point, the whole contrast, and this is like that tonal shift I was talking about, where like a lot of it was humorous, and then
Mm.
when we get the Jesse Washington story with
Yeah.
the contrast, sorry, of them watching Birth of a Nation, which like this sounds messed up too. I'm kind of curious to see this movie too, to be honest. This is what
Really?
it's tougher watch definitely than Gone with the Wind. I don't know that I think there's much there. Maybe there is some romance in it, but it just as a curiosity thing. Like honestly,
Yeah.
like kind of like watching like a documentary on like slavery or something in that kind of aspect of like just kind of curious to see because it's like it's cited as the first American feature length blockbuster, which is kind of
Right.
messed. This is the first blockbuster, Birth of a Nation, and like it
Yeah.
was played at the White House and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just this is the definition of a movie showing you the times.
Yeah. Yeah. And apparently that is real. Like in KKK, I don't know if it's exactly at the initiations, but like at a lot of their rallies or meetings and stuff, they would watch that movie.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
like
yeah, I could see,
the
I could
have
believe that.
like this scene of um like you said, what's his name? Harry Belafonte, who
Yeah,
comes in, tells the story of Jesse
Jesse Washington.
Washington in and cutting back and forth between them watching the movie, and you have like the people in the room screaming like yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
get that guy, and
mm,
like, oh, white people, woohoo, and like, whereas you have on the other side just everyone in the room is just again locked in, just listening to this man speak about a true story.
yeah,
So and then like we said, it's that shift because the whole movie's been comedic, and at this point we're like, okay, no, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna give this guy the respect he deserves. Because Spike Lee even said that, or I read anyways, that he insisted that that day when Harry Belafonte came on set, everybody on set wore a suit or a dress
mm,
to show the proper respect to him. So like
yeah,
he took it very seriously, and didn't have any of those inserts like during the Black Panther speech with the people, the close-ups of people looking ahead or anything. He was like, no, I'm just going to give this guy the screen
yeah,
and let him truly tell this story, and we're going to keep all the jokes out of it, so it really really hits.
yeah. No, it really does. And like up until this point, like when I watched the movie for the first time, I never even heard of Birth of a Nation before. So
Mm.
like to me, that was like it was crazy to hear that this movie even exists, and the fact that like just the idea of it is in the sense of like when you break down what the movie is like that's like the first Avengers movie basically like the KKK is like the Avengers, they're superheroes. It's a literally
Okay.
it's a superhero movie when you really break it down. It's like these are the bad guys and it's like you see them getting on the horse like go get them and like they're coming to save the day. Like
Yeah.
it's like an old Western movie almost kind of thing. It's crazy. And then at that time I didn't know the Jesse Washington story. Like obviously I've heard like
Mm.
the Emmett Till story, I've heard the Rosa Parks stories, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X story, and there's a lot of like just so many different stories. Like
No,
there's a
there's a
lot of
ton of them.
stories,
Yeah.
but the Jesse Washington story that was the first time I ever heard that story, and it's crazy when
Yeah.
like you're just sitting there and like really hearing like the extensive details of it too. Like they don't hold back, which I think makes it so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Is just how wild and with the contrast of like this, how horrible it is, and then you go to the contrast like these guys. That's what these guys are, man. Like, and they're really on it. It's like they're just people, and it's just it's wild.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, yes, the story is terrible
Yeah,
and real, but like it's not exceptional. There, like you said, there's tons of them.
yeah, no, for,
They're not all exactly like this, but like you said, the Emmett Till story. I remember when I first read about that because there was a few years ago when the the woman that like claimed that he was
Oh, like
hitting
he
on
sexually
her.
assaulted her or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like hit on her. Yeah.
I don't think she actually claimed that he assaulted her. I think he was saying like he advanced
Yeah.
on, you know, he was making advances on her. But when she was dying, like on her deathbed, basically admitted that it wasn't true,
Yeah.
and everyone was talking about it, and I hadn't heard about it at the time, so I was like,
Mhm.
oh, so and then I read up on it, and I was like, Jesus Christ, it's just an insane story. So like but the fact that there's just multiple of these is so
Yeah, I know.
sad, man. It's
It's
crazy.
absolutely insane. And like with the Jesse Washington thing too, there was no actual like evidence.
Mm,
It was just hearsay. They're like, yeah, he did it. And then like there was like no like I mean back then I don't know how they're doing like fingerprints and all that stuff, but like there just literally was no evidence. They were just like, yeah, he did it. They went to like the jury decided in like 4 minutes, like yeah, he did it.
yep. Yep.
And it's just like, yeah, he's a black dude. Of course he did it. And
Yep.
then boom, and then we're gonna do all
Exactly.
this crazy stuff to him. It's just like, damn, like it's just yeah, it the contrast. And to me, what I always find interesting too about it is like because we're Canadian, and so like we obviously have different experiences, like it's neighborhoods we grew up in, stuff like that, and obviously born in a different time frame. We're right next to the States, so like we
Mhm.
hear a lot of these stories because like we're right here. But I think about like this movie being at Cannes and being so like seeing all the stories about how like I got an ovation, all those things, and I think the thing that people think like on the Western side is like you just assume that like everyone in the world knows your stuff, but like people going to Cannes probably didn't know about like a lot of those things, so they're hearing about that stuff for the very first time. Maybe they haven't even heard about the Emmett Till, so this is like their first
Mhm.
Emmett Till type story. So I'm just
Yeah.
imagining someone that really doesn't know like the history of America and like those kind of things, and you're already seeing all the KKK stuff, and then you hear the Jesse Washington story, which is like that's why I feel like this movie is just like it's so powerful because in Europe, just throwing it out there for maybe people that wouldn't know it, it's just like, oh damn, like I didn't realize like all that stuff. That
Right.
ending is like very crazy for anyone
Yeah.
that might have not known because you're getting the darkest parts of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean the real like they probably know about slavery. You
Yeah,
know, they're probably like, okay, slavery
oh for
happened,
sure. Yeah,
but
yeah,
like specific stories, posts about, you know, Jim Crow and, you know,
yeah,
any this stuff, Jesse Washington, you know, Emmett Till, all that stuff. Like I said, like even a few years ago, up until a few years ago, I didn't even know about the Emmett Till stuff.
yeah.
And like you said, we're right next to the state, so I'm sure
That's
there's
what I'm
tons of
saying.
people all around the world that have no idea about the specifics of the story. But at the same time, there have been atrocities all over the world in human
Yeah.
history, and there's probably a ton of horrific stories of like what Japanese people did to Chinese people
Oh,
that we
100%.
don't know about, right? So like propping up this story as like look at how bad it was in America is kind of that American elitist thing to being like look at what what happened here, whereas like they're like okay, yeah, we did there was some crazy stuff going on over here too that you guys don't care about. So
Yeah.
like
I mean, I
I
don't
kind of
look at it.
see
Yeah.
both sides be like, yes, I think it's important for them to have awareness of it, but like we should also be aware of the other stories that are happening around the world because it's not just America.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this movie comes across that way though. I don't think it's saying that
No,
like we have it so much worse than you. I think it's
right.
just like as a powerful movie in the same way. If someone made a movie, like if there was like a Chinese movie made where they're like, look how crazy is. I think I'd watch the movie and be like, damn, I didn't know that's insane. And you
Hmm.
just appreciate that, like, wow, like you really put that in a story and like really like taught me something and like now I'm like aware of it. Like I think it works in like could be anybody making that movie. That's what I'm saying. I think the movie's powerful for its ability to do that, just to have the awareness, like put that in there.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think this movie necessarily says like, oh, we got it so much worse than you. I think
No,
it's just
no, I
it
don't think
just
that either.
shows. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I just in the fact like that this and I mean, like Hollywood's in America, I get it, but like you know,
Yeah.
this goes to the film festival and becomes a big deal where there probably are Chinese movies like this that exist, and we
Yeah,
just
for sure.
they just don't get propped up because they're Chinese and people don't care about it as much.
Yeah, for sure. Like I'm sure like it's a different kind of thing, but same kind of like trying to tell a story like Schindler's List. Like I don't know if that was at Cannes. I'm sure that got
Mm,
a crazy reaction too. Like movies like that, like any
true.
World War
Yep.
II movies, like any of those kind of things, similar kind of things where it's like, oh damn, like that was a powerful story. Like you did that in a way that's just like sure people like watching documentaries, but it's also another thing. Movies take liberties and stuff like that, but just being able to tell a powerful story and an interesting story that maybe you don't know about, where it's like, wow, I didn't know about that specific thing that happened during World War II or whatever it is. It's just
But
I
like
think
we said,
it's up. Yeah,
in this movie, it's not like the whole movie is like, oh, look at how this powerful statement that this movie's talking about. Like, yes, there are little points of subtext in there, and like Spike Lee's, saying what he feels. But I mean, like, I don't feel the need even like to to mention a lot of those things because it's just so obvious. Like the
Yeah.
KKK was bad
Hmm.
and racism sucks. Like that's just an obvious thing. But like the fact that it like he kind of almost has it all in this one scene to really make you feel the message and hear listen to this story. Whereas like it's not the whole movie. We talked about all the funny moments in it and stuff like that, right? Like it's a
Yeah.
comedic movie.
Hmm. But I think another thing the movie does well too, that uh I I thought about it, but like when I heard like Ron talk about it like in interviews where he's like a good thing that this movie does really well is show how good David Duke is at hiding it, and
Mm,
like how he's like you never see him in public like with the hood on and stuff like that or whatever. He's always in a suit, he's always well like mannered, and like but then as soon as like you see him in that moment like with the pictures, like what mistake did you do? You made a big mistake, boy. Like why don't you come over to
yeah,
where we're from? Like he
yeah,
broke, but usually he's not like that when the cameras or he's running right around everybody else. He's just like he knows how to spin his words. And like if you go watch, which it's there's interviews of him on the YouTube and stuff. If you go watch some of his interviews, he always spins it and he always finds different ways to make it like, yeah, like I just think it's better off if we're separated and stuff like that. And he's like, I have other issues too. Like I care about like mothers and like there's like he'll like mix in other things where he makes
mm-hmm.
it inclusive. He's like, yeah, I hate black people, but also I think we should look out for mothers and like I care about the children. And also like we should get the black people away from us. It's just like he had a good way of like incorporating it all. Where it's like, yeah, that thing he said about moms is good. I actually kind of like that guy. It's like, whoa, what about the stuff he said about black
Yeah,
people? Like
yeah,
he's
yeah,
good at coding it all, which is like he's never just straight up like I own the only thing I care about is I just like black people. He codes a bunch of things where it makes it other people be like, oh yeah, I actually kind of like that thing. Oh, you're gonna lower my whatever, yeah. So that just like that the movie does a good job of that of showing that he can flip and like you see the dark sides of him, but like in the other there's the other side of him that's just like, oh yeah, we're good. And then when they go to the basement is when they put on the
yeah,
hoods and it's when they watch the movie and like stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
That's an interesting point too. Of even like he the fact that Ron gets him to break like with a picture, like, oh, you made a big
Yeah.
mistake. You why don't you come down to Louisiana and or
Yeah.
like that. That is yeah. That's a an intense moment because we don't see him do that at
Mm.
any other time. And I think it's interesting, like the way he talks and the fact that that's real is crazy. But I think the movie also does a good job of communicating that, like showing like, look, this guy's smart with the way he talks, but at the same time making fun of him and making him seem stupid. Like the
Mm.
fact that you can achieve both, I think is really good because like over the phone, right? Like obviously Ron's tricking him over and over, and then we get the phone call at the end where he's like, "Oh, we are
Yeah.
yeah, here at the station, and I'm a black cop, you son of a bitch," and like
Yeah.
he sons him like that, but also like, and then we get the shot of David Duke in his office, but we get a wide shot of the whole room, and it's just him in an empty room at this desk because
Mm.
we always got close-ups of him at his desk, and he was always talking about like when he calls to get the card, right? He's like, "Oh, I want to participate in my my faction's cross burning, but I don't have my official card yet. I was wondering if I could expedite the process or something
Yeah.
like that." And he's like, "Okay, sorry, we've had a backlog. We're working on things." So you assume like it's this whole big operation, right?
Yeah.
He's running this whole unit of people organizing all this stuff, and then you get the shot at the end, and it's just one guy in a room.
Yeah. No, exactly. 100%. Yeah, because you think
Yeah,
it was just like there'd be like people like oh like writing notes for him and stuff like that, or like sir, we need to like it's a busy operation or whatever. But
right.
yeah, you're right. Like you pull back, it's like oh it's just a dude in a room.
Yeah. And he's like, "No, I personally will see to it that you get your card and I do it myself," because maybe at the time he was literally the one doing all this.
Yeah.
You
No,
know what I
true.
mean? But like he makes it sound noble. Like, "Don't worry, I will personally see to it that you get your card." Like
And I
that's a
wonder
big
if it's
deal.
yeah, and I wonder if it's also like a thing of like making it feel like it's bigger than it actually is. Because like, yo,
Right.
you got to get on this. Like, it's gonna you might take you a while to get in because like we got a lot of people coming. It's like, oh yeah, like I guess this is a big move and I got to join, but really there's like 5 of them. But
Yeah.
they make it seem like oh like it might take a week or two. We're kind of backlogged, but they're
Yeah. We
not
got a
really
hundred we
backlogged.
got 100 applicants here, where it's really one guy and there's like 6 of them.
Exactly. And then he ends, he's like, maybe I'll do something. And then he like gets it the next day. It kind of, I guess
Yeah.
that kind of really shows you it's like, yeah, we're trying to grow here right now, but there's not too many of us. At least this part, like in this area of the.
Hey,
of
fake
the
it till you
state.
make it.
Apparently.
Fake it till you make it.
I don't know if you had any last parts about like how the bombing and then like the conclusion. How you like how it kind of wrapped up.
I mean, it was just an interesting scene. I mean, when Connie leaves, she gets the bomb. He explains to her everything that she has to do, and then she calls back, right? Because Ron finds out about where she's going, makes the call, and then she's like, "Oh, there's so many cops around here. Okay, go to Plan B." And we're like, "What's Plan B?" Then she shows up at Patrice's house. We're like, "Oh, snap!" Tries to put it in the mailbox, is not fitting. Like, there was just so much chaos happening. I was so interested in what was going to happen. Like I said, like just the story itself was so intriguing, and I think Spike does such a good job of like so much camera movement. Like I said, the inserts during these speeches and stuff, like just visual things to like keep you all excited and engaged. While this great story is panning out, I'm so locked in. And then Ron comes up, he gets arrested, and I'm like, wait, he's a cop. So I was like wondering, are they gonna kill him or like I just didn't know what's gonna happen next. It's just an exciting moment. Like this movie is just very exciting from start to finish.
Yeah, no, it's like we get a really like satisfying, like the clever, satisfying ending of just like in the end she puts under the thing and Felix them finally click it, and then
Blow
they
himself up.
explode. Yeah, exactly. And then and then like those were all the people that actually knew Ron's actual identity, so that stayed safe too. Like, so it kind of cleaned up that
True.
because they started realizing no,
That's a
that
good
dude's actual name is Felix, and then all the only 3 people that knew that ended up dying. So it's like okay, we're going to worry about that. Like that's that's done. And then obviously Connie, I don't think Connie ended up knowing because she was away from them, but she goes to jail. Like you mentioned earlier, they get that cop. They get him with the mic'd ups. Like, did you get that? Yeah, I got that. And they all started, yeah, I got that. He's like, yeah, I think we all got that. And I was like, hey.
I didn't see that coming too. Like,
No,
when he enters the scene.
Yeah.
Actually, I should have gone back and watched, but like, I wonder, like, can you see like Adam Driver and the captain like sitting at the next table? And like,
I think the captain came out of the room. I don't think he was in
the captain comes around the corner.
Yeah.
Adam Driver's sitting right beside them.
That's true.
And I wonder if you can actually see him in the shot, but because like you're meant to be focused on Ron and Patrice, so you just don't notice them. Mm-hmm. But I wonder if he's actually there.
I think you see the back of his head. I think, but for the act, maybe not, because it's kind of just cut in on them, right?
Yeah,
it's not like from a side where like you'd see the person behind them, because they're just like in a booth and their backs are to the wall. So it's not like you'd see Adam Driver is like behind them, like you see like this long hair behind them. So maybe he's not in the scene.
Maybe he's not. I mean, it's a good like flip, because like I said, I didn't see it coming. I was honestly getting pissed off when the cop enters and he's like comes right up to Patrice.
Yeah.
They also make it very clear like it's a straight on shot of the booth, and Ron and Patrice are heavily to one side as far as they can, and the cop's like in the middle, like as close to them as possible, like what they're trying to basically like leave the booth. And I was like, Ron, like get this guy away from her. Like you already know that he groped her.
No, 100%.
He's like, hey man, like screw you. Like he's just kind of saying a few words, but I'm like if that was my girl and there was a guy, like if I was in this situation, I'd be like, no, get the hell away. Like I'm switching sides with her. So like I'm between her and him, and he wasn't doing that. So they obviously they're baiting him into saying this stuff. So that's why he's not doing it. But before I knew that, I was like, what the hell, Ron? Like get this guy out of here.
No, 100%. Yeah, no. Cause I remember the first time I watched it, I was thinking the same thing. I was just like, ugh, I was like, this guy is really gonna get like this guy's just gonna keep working for the cops, which they could have done because that's just the times. You know what I mean? It's like we still gotta deal with this guy. Like we did what we could have with the KKK, but like they could have ended like that. This is still kind of part of it, unfortunately. But it was just satisfying for them. Like, yeah, I got it. Like we got it. And it's like, hey, yeah, screw that dude, man.
Hell yeah.
There should be, but there's just no redeeming qualities from that dude the whole movie. He's just a prick the whole movie. You're just like, oh my god. Every time he comes on screen, you're like, oh, I hate this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I mean, and then there's the final, like, the knock at Ron and Patrice's door, and then they're sliding out to see the
classic
burning.
dolly. That's a classic Spike Lee dolly shot.
Thing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got that
But I
in
mean,
He Got Game too. When they're playing the 1-on-1, you get the little. There's the dolly shot.
yeah.
Yeah, I
I
don't know if we mentioned it.
Uh, I don't know.
I
Yeah, I
don't
don't
know.
know.
What were you gonna say though?
Well, I was just gonna say that like the Into the Cross burning for one final, I guess. Not that's not even subtext. That's just symbolism
Yeah.
of just showing. I think like I don't know if it's meant to say like look again this investigation and everything. You put your I guess you didn't put three guys away. Three guys ended up dying. You didn't kill them.
Yeah.
But three KKK members ended up dying. The colonies are now in jail, and it didn't really achieve anything. They're still just out burning the cross. I don't know. Did you have anything else that you thought that you got from that?
Well, I think that it just it goes right into like the end of the movie, right? Where it's just like they show that they like we did everything. There's still burnings, and then they flip and show you like 2017 of like the Charlottesville stuff and stuff like that, and like people doing the marches in the KKK like garb and stuff like that. So I think it was just to like, because sometimes when you make these kind of period movies, people are like, yeah, it was so crazy back then. So like when you flip it, and this movie came out in 2018, so you're flipping on something that's like a year previously, and then you show the marches and all that stuff. You show David Duke, and it's like, wait, this dude's still alive? I think that's another, because I didn't know he was still alive. Right. When I first watched the movie too, I'm like, oh snap! So like now you like the movie like really sinks in. Like we already got that crazy Jesse Washington scene where it's like, damn, that was a long time ago. It's crazy. And like that David Duke dude is like shitty, and then it's like, oh wait, no, that dude's still alive, and like there's still white supremacy happening and stuff like that. So like I think that was what that was kind of like showing and representing.
Yeah, for sure. The inserts of the modern stuff, it was more like the cross burning that I wondered if there was anything else specifically. But like, yeah, you show Trump, you show David Duke, you show the inserts of the actual stuff, the people marching, the protests, the guy driving his car through. Yeah, like that stuff that's crazy. That they're just like you said, like you can easily think that this was a long time ago because it's set in that time. So like they're wearing lots of different clothes and they're driving different types of cars. So like it makes you feel like, okay, this was a long time ago. And then you put that stuff in to remind you like, no, this is still like now. Yeah. Like Ron Stallworth is still alive. David Duke is still alive. All these guys are probably still alive.
No, 100%. And like that's why like I think obviously the movie's so powerful. And like a movie we did before, like when we did why am I forgetting the name of that movie? What's the alien invasion movie in South Africa?
District 9.
District 9. And we talked about like what that's representing. And like I look at it as the same way where like obviously they're using aliens to represent what they were talking about. But I think those movies are powerful for doing that. It's just like, I'm a Canadian. I'm not too familiar with what happened with that. And it's like, you'd be like, oh, how do you not know what's going on? It's like, because I'm a different side of the world. Like that's like a thing that like a lot of people think like when you're in your world, it may be like it's what's going on for you. So you think everybody knows about it. But it's like sometimes it takes a movie or a documentary. And that's why I'm not trying to put too much importance on like film in that sense where like films need to do this. But it's just, it's like, it's powerful when a film can do that. Where it's like, oh, damn, this movie put me on. Like I had no idea that was going on. And that makes it powerful because like, oh snap, like there's a takeaway from it.
Well, I think it's funny. Like you're like, I don't want to put too much importance on film, but I think it is the job of not necessarily the film industry, but I guess just the medium to tell important stories. Not every single movie has to do this. Yeah. There's a space for just fun action movies, comedies, stuff 100%. Like that. Like for sure, 100%. You can go to the movie and just have a good time, but I think that these movies are important too because, like you talked about, it's important to watch a movie and then you can get the feel of just what was going on at that time. You know, you talked about Gone with the Wind, and you're like, yes, that movie is important just for that sense of history, for us to remember what it was like at that time, the way people thought at that time. Yeah, and it'll be the same about present movies. You know, the movies that are coming out now in the future, people will be like, oh wow, people really liked superheroes. Like people were in love with comic books at that time. Like obviously that's not as like powerful as you know, the KKK and white supremacy, but like it's important to, I just think, remember history.
Yeah, no, 100%. And the only reason I say like I put that caveat of like I don't know if I don't put that too much importance on movies because I feel like a documentary is more so that like most people are making, you can make just like fun documentaries, but if you're getting into a documentary, you're telling a story and you have meaning to it, because these take years to make. So do movies, but documentaries sometimes are like someone's like documenting something over like 10 years sometimes.
Yeah.
Just to
Yeah.
really like, and like doing a bunch of interviews and like traveling here and here to be like, oh, you were like a Holocaust survivor, like I want to hear your story. Versus like when you're making a movie, you're doing some of that stuff, but it's not as grounded. In a documentary, like here are some facts. Sometimes they're
Right.
open-ended, like feel how you want to feel, but most documentaries would be like, this is how I feel, and then like you're leaning towards that. But that's why the only reason I give that caveat of like I didn't want to put too much more importance of movies over documentaries. But
That's fair.
yeah, no,
Yeah, that's fair.
movies do play a strong role in just like like shaping like ideology, like media, and just media in general, media and cinema can really do that. Like if you show a little kid, I mean, they're nowadays it'd be rough to have them watch like a freaking movie from like 1919 or whatever, but have them watch Birth of a Nation and only that kind of content, and that shapes their mind. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter what time frame you're living in. If like everyone around you is racist, you only watch racist clips and stuff like that. People think that stuff doesn't matter. It's like, no, it does matter. Like
Absolutely.
if whatever their algorithm is, that's shaping their mind. Doesn't matter what time frame you're in.
Yeah, and I mean that's what propaganda is. That's literally what propaganda is. So
100%.
You're just showing them images and telling them stories about what you want them to know and experience and learn. So if that's all they're seeing, that's all they're learning. So yeah,
exactly.
100%.
If you live in an area where there's not many black people or whatever it is, and like you read David Duke's book, you might be like, you know what, I don't know any black people, but maybe he's onto something. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it is. It's just really that simple, which is kind of scary, but that's just how the mind works. It could be about anything. It doesn't even have to be about race. Like you should read a bunch of fitness books, and then suddenly you get into fitness. Start caring about your health more and stuff like that. It's literally that simple.
100%.
It doesn't seem like it is, but it really can be.
Yeah. No, totally. I have one little fact, I guess. It's just that David Duke, the real David Duke, he didn't discover that Ron Stallworth was a black man until 2006.
Is that when the damn?
No, but it's before the book came out. The book came out in 2014.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah.
But a reporter had contacted him about like his side of the story. So I guess I guess the reporter caught wind of the story somehow. Yeah. And so yeah, he didn't know the whole time, because like you said, the phone call where he admits that he's black isn't real. Yeah. So like the whole time he didn't know that he got duped until from the 70s to 06.
That's hilarious. To me, it's also hilarious how there's actually like a card for it. Like it's like such an official thing that there needs to be a card for it. It's like it's just so
officially
absurd.
Racist.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, why do you need documentation for that? I did like, hey, do you have your card? Like, you can't.
Are you really racist enough to be with us? I don't know.
It's like I'm here. That's not enough. Like I got my hood and everything. I didn't bring my card, and I'm not allowed to come in. Like.
It's just the absurdity of the organization.
100%. It's this movie did a great job, but I know that's hilarious. I didn't realize he didn't realize until 2006. That's
I read that as just another way of like, honestly, like the movie didn't communicate that, but that would have been, because I mean it doesn't go till 2006, but like that's just another way of like, yes, because it's a movie, right? They take liberties, like, and they're making fun of them, like showing how stupid he is, but that's like a real thing of showing like, look how stupid this guy is. He actually didn't know.
You know what's funny? That actually could have been a scene. You might like, let's say you just do the thing where it's like we're closing this case, and he doesn't do that last call, but they just like I guess it kind of messes with the ending. But maybe you squeeze it in before the ending, where just like you do a time jump 2006, like a reporter knocks on his door, be like, "Hey," so he's like, "Wait, he's black," and then you come back. I think you could have done that maybe.
True. Yeah, you could have. Yeah. They didn't, but they
didn't. But you could have done that. But no, that's hilarious. Did you have any other points?
That's it for me. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's all for me. I squeeze all my points in the little discussions. I'm good. So I guess it's time.
All right. It is time. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to do. I don't know why I just thought of Yu-Gi-Oh there, but
okay,
yeah,
I don't know.
Wait, is that Yu-Gi-Oh or was that
No, it's Yu-Gi-Oh,
right?
Yeah. Yu-Gi-Oh.
Anyways,
Time to duel.
it's time. It's not time to duel. It is time for the
Okay.
Filmmies. Welcome to the Filmmies. This is our award show. We have 6 awards that we're gonna give to the movie, different people, parts of the movie. And first one is our fit check. Tons of great fits in this
Oh,
movie.
a lot of great fits.
So very excited to hear who gets who is your best fit. What was your best
So
fit?
my fit goes to Ron,
Okay, he had a
and
yeah,
he had a lot
bunch.
of great fits. Yeah, like
Yeah.
it was tough to choose it. I kind of just
Yeah.
went with like the first one that sparked my eye because it was it's when they're working on the voice, because like at this point like they
Oh, okay.
realized that, which there's a funny thing too I didn't mention. I guess that could have been another point, that the first interaction with the KKK wasn't actually a phone call. It was actually him sending out a mail. It's like mails like
In
back
real
to the
life,
post
yeah.
office, and he actually did put his real name on there, and it was a mistake. He's like, oh snap, like I put my real name out there, and I didn't actually think I'd get a reply because I figured
Right.
like, maybe this is not going to work. And they actually responded back to me, and I was like, oh damn, and I actually used my real name.
Yeah.
So that is why it ended up becoming what it was. It wasn't a phone call, but it's the scene when they're working on the voice, and
Mm-hmm.
I had to bring up the picture. Let me grab up the picture. Ron's wearing like this green, like little like button up shirt. He's got like I don't know if they're suspenders. It almost seems like he's wearing a backpack. Like it's got like these brown little like
Oh yeah.
suspenders, I'll call them, and then he's got like the necklace. I think it's suede. The little like the button up he's wearing. The
Ooh.
pants are fresh too. It's like these like gray, like dark gray pants. Obviously, the afro is always on point,
Yep.
and it was just a fresh look. I thought it was dope. It's definitely something that popped and I thought stood out. So I had to give him back my fit check for that. He's got a lot of fits, but that was the one that I was like, okay, that's early in the movie,
Yeah.
and I was like, I'm rocking with that one.
Yeah. Yeah. The like over the shoulder, they're like they kind of also look like things you would put your guns in. But
Yeah,
I don't
I
think
don't
that's
think
what
it
it is.
was. Yeah.
I don't know exactly what those are called. I guess it was a 70s style, but yeah, I mean all of Ron's fits are fantastic. I figured
Yeah.
you would give him one. He got my fit too, not the same one.
Okay,
But
the way you were describing it, I was like, oh, he remembers the fit, so maybe that is his.
no. I
Oh,
remember
you
the
just remember
fit,
the
but that's
fit.
not
Okay.
mine. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Because it was a
Okay,
memorable fit. It was a good pick. It was a good
thank
pick.
you. What was your fit?
Mine goes to Ron when he it's at Felix's house, and
Okay.
it's the lie detector test scene. So when he throws the rock in the window,
Oh, okay, yeah.
so he comes out of the car. He's got it's a blue shirt with a yellow Nike logo,
Yeah.
just regular jeans, but he's got the red jacket
Yeah, that's a
with like
fresh
the
jacket.
white fluff on the collar and like the around the wrists and like all over the place. It was the jacket was hitting. Like you
Yeah,
said,
it
the
was hard.
afro is clean. It's just fresh look.
No, that was my runner up. That's a hard fit. Because when
Yeah.
he's running away, I was literally thinking, I was like, damn, that's a fresh jacket. This
Yeah.
man's running for his life. I'm like, damn, that's a fresh jacket.
Yeah, it was mostly the jacket. The jacket was doing most of the work.
Yeah.
But even just the blue shirt with the yellow underneath. I don't know.
No, it's a good
worked.
contrast. It's a good
Yeah.
contrast. That's what it was. No, that's a great fit. I ain't mad at that.
And like you said, the afro is just
Yeah, it's just always
on point. It's always perfect. Fantastic stuff. Next, we got our Ferris Bueller Award. This is our lazy award. So something that someone did on screen or off screen that we consider lazy. So who gets your Ferris Bueller?
It's funny because what we just ended off is the perfect contrast for what leads into my Ferris Bueller.
Okay.
And I'm giving it to the hair department head. And I actually have her name here. And part of me is like, it's Lawanda M. Pierce.
Okay.
And part of me, like, as I think about it more, I almost want to put it on Spike a little bit too, because he's the one that's the director. So he gives them what they need to do with the specific things, especially with the hair. And to me, Eloise actually helped me with this. So I got to shout out Eloise because she pointed it out. And she pointed out it's just based off of just like being around me and just knowing what it is. Like just with the afro. It's just the fact that the morning we see him wake up, when we see him wake up, his afro's perfect. You don't wake up with a perfect afro.
No.
No. When you wake up, it's squished, and then you gotta comb it out. And to me, it's lazy. That's a lazy aspect that they could have just had in there. As just to be authentic to that. If you're gonna have that crazy afros in there, you gotta show them combing it. It could be like 2 seconds. You know what I mean? It's like he's getting up, getting ready, brush, comb, Hey, now it's perfect. He got the audacity for them to wake up, and he does this. That's and then just leaves.
Just
I'm like, that's
passes
not
afro.
how. That's not how you
When does he
shape an
wake
afro.
up? When does he get? I'm trying to think.
It's
of
the
when...
morning after. It's like when he's then going to. It's like right before the voice thing. Like when they're about to like work on the voice, he wakes up, he gets out of bed, and his afro's perfect, and he still feels the need to do this. I'm like, dog, it's already perfect. He never picks it once. His hair just always perfect.
Yeah.
And to me, that's lazy.
Yeah, they just had
no afro development.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just like we're just supposed to believe that this afro went through all of this story and came to the conclusion that it did. Yeah, sure, okay.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a good point. But yeah, just a quick shot of him picking his afro. We never saw that once.
Not once.
And there's like 200 afros in this movie. I didn't see a single. I guess that's not true. There is an afro pick. It's he on the necklace that he gives Patrice.
Oh, that is true. That is,
but no one actually
true.
uses a pick.
Yeah, I know. Which is just like it's just a little simple thing. It's why I'm with the nature of this award is obviously in jest, but like
yeah.
I had to find something, and I was like, you know what? And Eloise pointed out, I'm like, yo, that's so true. And like I'm like, yeah, like an afro just doesn't just look like this. Or anyone?
Yeah, unless you're sleeping on your face.
that's
like,
what I'm saying.
Not how it works.
Like to give the behind the scenes, like before we started the episode, I picked my hair for like 10 minutes and I shaped in the mirror just to make sure we're all right. And this week I'm not even.
You guys tuned in.
Yeah, exactly. And this week
it's amazing.
And this week I didn't wear the Beats because I didn't want to dent it.
Oh, true.
I'm wearing AirPods because I didn't want to dent it. I put the effort in to like really shape it up, so I'm going to wear
more
the AirPods.
More than they did, and you're not making a movie.
That's what I'm. That's why it's my lazy award.
Great award.
Thank you.
Great
well,
award.
yeah,
my hair's not long enough to pick it out into an afro, unfortunately, or else I would have also for the episode. But I'm glad that you did.
Thank you. Well,
you should keep the look, man. You looks fresh.
I'm literally might be. I think I'm getting it done in like 2 days. I had to do it for the. I had to keep it for the podcast though.
Yeah,
100%.
All right.
But what about you though? Who
yeah, my lazy award? I give it to Connie.
Okay.
So Felix's wife.
Yeah.
And it's for not listening to the guy explaining how to plant the bomb. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So we get this whole scene. He's like, okay, here's your C4. You could put it on the porch. You could put it on the side of the building. You could put it anywhere as long as it's in contact. I got enough C4 here to blow up like 100 people.
Yeah.
And then, so when she goes to Patrice's house, it doesn't fit in the mailbox. And she's like, oh, damn, it's not going to work. I'll put it under the car. Just put it beside the house. He said he literally told you it doesn't have to be like anywhere specific, just anywhere against the house. It's enough C4. It'll be a big enough explosion. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Put it next to the house. Put it like you put it next to the car. So, and then I mean, obviously she didn't know Felix was gonna pull up right next to the car and blow himself up. But like, if you just did what the guy told you to do, this wouldn't have been an issue.
It's a very good point. But part of me also realized too, like when you look back at the explosion, would have that taken out the whole house? It didn't seem like it was that big.
That's true.
But that's I mean, it was for the movie that they knew they were only going to explode a car, so they didn't make it bigger than it had to be. Yeah. But the explosion didn't look like it would have took out the whole house.
It would have done some damage.
It would have done some damage. If you're in that house, that explosion is big enough that maybe if they're on the top floor, you fall through or something. It definitely would have messed up the house. I'm not arguing that. But no, you're right. It's a great award because
honestly, I almost gave it to Felix for not seeing, because when he pulls up, Ron is on his wife, like arresting her. Like if you just look forward, then you'd be like, oh, something's wrong. Yeah. Something's like up here. Maybe something didn't go to plan. I shouldn't push this button, but he didn't do that. But
he was just so locked in on Patrice's house. He is not even looking at his surroundings.
Yeah.
That's a great pick.
So that's my award.
That's a great Ferris Bueller.
Next, we got Peyton Pritchard Award. So this is our sixth man. So this is someone with a smaller role in the movie or behind the scenes that did the most with that small opportunity. Who gets your sixth man?
So I went back. I always go back and forth. I brought it back small. Last
Nice.
time I think I gave it to the composer, which we argue if that's how small is that. But this is someone that was in the movie and they had a very small moment. They're on screen for a short amount of time. And it goes to the waiter that was at the Klan
at the
meeting.
banquet? Okay,
At the banquet, yeah. And then it's after Dave Duke does a speech and they cut to the waiters and he says, "Ain't this a bitch?" If I would have known this was a Klan meeting, I wouldn't have taken this gig. God damn.
That was so funny. That was so late though. Into like when that happened, I was like, bro, this meeting's been going on for hours already.
Yeah,
Why are
I
you
know.
saying this now?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, you didn't catch on. I'm
Yeah,
like,
you know what I
this
mean?
meeting has been going on for a while. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe it wasn't until the speech. He's like, it's just a white people party. I don't know.
That's true.
We don't know what he was seeing, I
It's
guess.
a secret
but
organization, man. Nobody
yeah,
knows.
exactly. It's the organized.
That's
Yeah, it wasn't until that
point.
speech when he was like, oh, okay, yeah, and now I realize
Yeah.
what this meeting is. But no, I was literally thinking that. I remember thinking I'm like, damn, I wonder how all these black people feel about working this. Like Ron's
Right.
here because he has to be, but like all these black people, like I don't know, like they're just working in the service. Like I part of me was thinking, I was like, do you have a choice about your gigs? Like I thought it was just like you're working for this company, like, hey, we got a gig. This is part of your job. You got to do it. But no,
Yeah.
he chose this gig, which you can almost debate like that's a lazy award on him. You didn't look into the gig you were doing, dog.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, if a guy, but again, it's a secret. The guy
That is
that
true.
would've
It's
just
the
said, like, hey,
organization.
yeah, he's like, my organization would like to put on a banquet. We need some catering. Can you do it? And he said, as long as the check clears, man.
That's true. That is true. And because it's David Duke, he wouldn't have been like whites only because he wants to show the image of like, hey, he doesn't.
That's right.
Right now, at least, yeah, he's somewhat all inclusive. But no, that's
your six man. I
that's
love
my
it.
6 man. Who gets your 6 man?
I gave mine to Ashley Atkinson, who plays
Okay.
Connie.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I think she was going for it. Oh my
yeah.
god, she was going for it. She felt more racist than Felix.
Oh,
And this
yeah,
guy's
she
like the
did.
insane psycho. When she comes into the house for the first time, she's like, "Oh, I brought some cookies. Oh, by the way, did you guys hear that this baboon girl talking about
Yeah.
killing cops?" I was like, "Damn!"
Yeah.
And then he shoos her away, and then she's like, "You're gonna need me at some point to do something." And I don't know. And then during the movie, when they're watching the movie, she's like, get him, string
Yeah,
him
I
up.
know.
Oh, the ingenuity of white women when they're running away. And like she was just all for the white supremacy. She was going for it all the way. I just obviously like a terrible person, but
No,
I
for
respect
sure.
the performance.
No,
I
100%.
respect
Yeah,
the
no, she
performance.
went absolutely crazy with like because she made it. It was so weird. Like you talking about that first time she entered in, when it was just like, oh man, like I want to be part of the racist games. Like that's
Yeah.
that's how she
Yeah.
made it feel. She's like, man, I wanna be part of this. Like,
Yeah.
come on, you're gonna need
Like,
me. Like
he's shooing her away. She's like, I'm just as racist as you. I should be able to be in this meeting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. But no, it's a good 6, man.
Well, I must say, I'm surprised neither of us gave our 6 man to our guy Paul Walter Hauser.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
For being Ivanhoe. So I'll just give him a quick runner up, I guess. Just his fucking some of his lines, man. Like, fuck, they can dance. I'll give them that. They can dance. It's about all I'll fucking give them.
Well, I'm
He was
assuming that
killing me,
the
bro.
next award we're getting to is the quote, right?
That's true. That is true. Our very next award.
He got my award
Okay,
for quote,
give it to
and
me.
because it's funny because you were saying that it's that award. It's that
Oh
what you
no!
just said.
I ruined it for you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean
It's
to
a
do
perfect segue because you were saying like we didn't talk about it. I'm like I'm about to, and then you
Yeah.
said the quote. I'm like, that was it. He got my
Oh,
award for that quote
okay.
because that killed me. Because the whole movie, I mean, like obviously all of them are really racist, but it's just like they're going to their racist tirades. It's just like, I will say though, they can dance. They can't dance. That's all I'm gonna give them though.
That's all I'll fucking give him.
Because
I'll
to
give
me,
him that.
that kills me so much because like I'm just imagining him like a cutscene of him watching a TV show, and then black people come on the screen. He's just so angry, and then he just like looks around, looks at his wife, like
They
they
move.
can dance, they can move. All right, damn.
Oh man. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah.
What about
he
you?
was. I mean, it's funny because I also gave him my quote, a different one.
Okay, yeah.
Because I was like, I wanted to give him my 6 man, but I was like, okay, Ashley, she's killing this.
yeah.
But I was like, okay, I'll give him my quote. I didn't mean to steal your thunder. I'm sorry,
No,
but like the one I went with was also just another funny one. So it's when fake Ron meets the Klan for the first time, like when Adam Driver goes, and I think it's Walter who's like, blacks are all around us. You got Uncle Ben, Aunt Jemima.
Oh yeah.
And then Ivanhoe goes, damn, I kind of like those ones. Just because he's like this fat idiot. He's like, oh, the rice and the syrup, I kind of like those ones. Paul Walter Hauser does it again. This guy's
he's absolutely hilarious. The funny thing is, like, when I was watching the movie, immediately I was like, yo, I forgot that guy was in here. And I was like, that's our guy.
That's our guy.
That's
We're
our
his
guy.
biggest fans, man.
Yeah, we really are. Like, whenever he pops up in a movie, we're both just like when it happened in Fantastic Four, immediately we were both like, this is going to get talked about. And then when I remembered that he was in BlacKkKlansman, I was like, I forgot he was in this movie. I just immediately started laughing in my head. I'm like, all right, he's going to get an award for something. I just have, because we have to talk about him. It's like not like his character needs to be talked about in like a full extent, but like he needs to be talked about because we've established him as our guy.
Exactly. Yeah, we will always give love to Paul Walter Hauser on this podcast.
And there's a lot of, like, again, there's the KKK. They're in this movie. They're made to be stupid. There's some lines in here that's like, to me, and I was saying this to Eloise, that like we also obviously have a different experience because we grew up in Canada and we grew up in areas that we experienced like a little bit of like subtle racism here, but we never experienced, like, I will speak for myself, like strong like fears of racism, and it's not like engulfed around us. We grew up around a lot of white people. You obviously are half white, so it's just like different kind of experience. So like when I see this absurd like racism and hearing these stupid things, there's a little part of me that laughs. I don't know about you, where it's just like, this is so ridiculous. What they're saying is just so goofy, and you just laugh at it. And one of the lines that made me laugh, almost got my award, was when freaking Walter's character was just like, you see Negroes everywhere. Negroes selling soap. Negroes selling. And like,
that's what I mean. That's right before my award. Then he says, Uncle Ben, Aunt Jemima. Damn, I kind of like those ones. Oh, man. So good.
Too much.
So good.
But hey, those are both a good quote.
Both to our guy. Yeah, we couldn't give him the 6, man, so we went with the quote. Love it. Okay, next we got our best scene. What was your favorite scene?
So my best scene was the Jesse Washington / contract with the Birth of a Nation scene. Like we talked about in detail, but like, again, I was saying I didn't know the story. Like, I was familiar with like the Emmett Till and a lot of the other stories, but I just thought it was so powerful because it's that tonal shift that we talked about, like in our general thoughts, where I was saying it's a lot of comedy, and then this moment the comedy cuts, and then we just get like this serious monologue of just telling the story, and then getting the contrast of them watching the Birth of a Nation like watch party basically, and it was just a really powerful scene. So that's why it was my favorite scene.
Yeah, it is a very powerful scene, and it is my best scene too.
Bang.
It is the certified best scene of the movie. It's undebatable now because we both have our best scene. And yeah, like you said, it's the tone shift. It really makes it hit. Like we said, like if you're trying to do this a lot throughout the movie, then they all become a little watered down. This is really the only time in the movie that we're gonna like sit and listen to this story. Yeah. So it really, really hits. The fact that it is intercut with them watching the movie, even the whole initiation process of them, you put on your hood, and then he goes one by one, take off your hood, and throws the holy water or whatever it is on them. And just the whole initiation process while this story is being told is just very powerful, upsetting too. And it hits.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's a great scene. And like, I think part of me like a little bit knew it was also your scene too, because it's always like that. We always get that feeling when we're in the deep dive and we're talking about a scene. You can almost sense when a guy, I'm like, this might be his scene, because I feel like he's like holding back a little bit on saying it. I felt that a little bit.
Okay.
I gotta
get my poker face. I gotta get my poker face a little bit better.
Yeah, because like when I brought up this scene, I think there's a little bit of like, well, I don't know. You never really know. It was just my read. I could have been completely wrong. Well, and it was like, oh, that actually isn't a scene.
You weren't wrong. I mean, there's no way. Like, we could talk about it in the deep dive and then just be like, hey, by the way, the scene that we talked about, that's the one that gets the award.
No, 100%.
But yeah, no, it's a great scene. And I think too, like sometimes there's like in movies, obviously you can go like really small and be like, oh, there was a moment in this scene that I just loved, and like that's why it's my favorite scene. But for the most part, like you go into a movie and like I can guess like maybe within like 3 or 4 that I'm like, probably one of these
Yeah.
is his best scene.
No, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Unless, like you said, there's like a small moment that would just like resonate with you for a second. Like maybe it's like, oh, I really like the shot. Like it was
Yeah,
just like
true.
the shot in this scene, or just like this little quick like back and forth was just awesome. So like I just want to say that was my favorite scene. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So sometimes it can be that.
Yeah, you could say like, oh, the banquet scene was my favorite because when he took that picture, it was
Yeah.
just fantastic
No,
stuff.
exactly.
Yeah.
100%.
All right. Last but not least, we got our MVP award. Who's your MVP?
So my MVP goes, I give it to Spike Lee. And to me, it's just like it's the direction of the film, because like as I was doing the research for the movie and kind of seeing, like I was like, okay, what part of the book was like not factual, but like what parts of the book did he take and what parts did he take liberties on? Which again is fine. I don't have any issues when you do that because it's a movie. And apparently the book was more like informational in the sense of like it was kind of just like breaking down like the case. It wasn't like really told as much like in a story. So they kind of had to take that and like turn it into, and like added the tone to it. Like the book's not comedic. Like it doesn't like go into comedy and then go into like a serious tone. It's just like, this is what happened. This is what I went through. It's like very much like that. So I liked the direction they end up going with the story. And just like it's interesting to add in like that romance conflict. We were talking about how we liked it and we said how it worked, the humor, as I was saying. And yeah, no, I just think the way he went with this movie, and everyone that was on set just was giving so much praise, obviously because the legendary director, but everyone just talked about how his style and how he was working with everybody. He's like, yeah, Spike told me that like I should deliver it like this. And I didn't see anything specific about like the things that we liked, how we said that it just felt very conversational. I didn't see anyone specifically give him props for that, but they said he was like heavily involved like with the scenes, and not like in an overbearing way where it's like, no, say it again. Like he was like, okay, like, yeah, like let's work with that. Like it was just the
Tweak
direction
this,
and the
change it a
tone
little bit here.
exactly. So I just gave him the MVP because I just think as a whole, and just having the scenes, which I wonder how much it costs, like kind of like with the sample thing, like, you know, like the fact that I said that he had the Birth of a Nation in there, or like had like Gone with the Wind, like who do you got? Who did you got to cut a check to someone to have little clips of someone
Probably,
else's movie in there? I guess. Like, yeah,
and
probably.
then in that sense, that means he's cutting a check to people who made a white supremacist movie.
That's what I'm thinking.
Damn
That's
it,
what I was
Spike.
thinking. Yeah. All right. So actually, he's not my MVP. No,
Yeah.
he's my MVP. But yeah,
It's
no,
a great
just-
MVP. I mean, you're totally right. The direction was great. I think in mostly, like the unscripted and conversational feel, I thought was super, super well done. The story, I will say, like it was written by a few other people that, I mean, Spike Lee was involved in the writing process.
Yeah,
but
there's
I
like
think
4 people involved in the writing.
Yeah, but I think like there was a script like delivered to him when he then went in and made his little tweaks and stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess that adds to, like you say, his MVP case. But I mean, even just like Jordan Peele was the producer on it, like or one of them anyways, and like he reached out to Spike and wanted him to direct it. I guess he just saw his vision, and Spike is super, is very into like the black cause.
Yeah.
So
no,
like
for
it just
sure.
makes sense that he would be
Yeah.
very passionate about a project like this. So good pick. He's not my MVP.
Yeah, which is fair. And, well, just one more thing to go on with,
Yep.
just because I want to go respond to before you say your MVP. No, I agree, and that was why I was kind of like I was going back and forth with it, like on giving them the MVP for that case. But then I started thinking about like, because we always go with the writer director thing. He was like obviously part of a team, but I always think about like there's certain movies that I've watched when I've like moved back, like stepped away from it, where it's just like, yeah, the story is really interesting, but like the way it was like done just didn't like it way like wasn't great. Like the movie that I always go to is freaking Old. It's an M Night movie that which is based off of like a book. And sometimes people can take a great book and then when they put on their direction to it, it's like, like that wasn't
Just
like
doesn't
that
work.
wasn't it. It just didn't work. And like that's why I'm giving him props to this, because like this is a crazy story and he didn't fumble it. Like you could easily fumble this.
Yep.
In the way you direct it. Like the words on the paper can be there, but if you don't make it work on screen, then it can easily be fumbled. And I just don't think he fumbled it.
And like we was talking about the tone, I don't know if like when the script came to him, if there was already that comedic tone built into it. Maybe I'm not sure, but like that's another way you could easily fumble. Like you take a story about a very serious conflict, add a comedic tone to it, and then you could easily turn people off to it and be like, "Whoa, I don't know, like you're making fun of like KKK members and like a lynching and like I don't know
Yeah.
if you should have really done that, but like it really works. It really
No,
works.
100%. And like I haven't seen all of Spike's films, but from the ones I've seen and kind of knowing his tone, the tone felt like 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 when you watch a
Yeah.
Tarantino movie and like
Yeah.
that feels like Tarantino humor. This movie felt like Spike Lee humor, and that's why I'm giving him also that credit, because I'm like, even though he didn't write it specifically by himself, which he has done for other movies, I'm like, this still feels like his tone. So he definitely made some tweaks to the way they were talking and stuff like that. I believe, just based
Okay.
off
Yeah.
watching the movie. But
Yeah.
your MVP.
My MVP. I thought about giving it to Spike. He was definitely on the short list. Adam Driver was super great. I thought about giving it to him, but I ended up giving it to John David Washington. So I mean, honestly, almost all the performances were great. Like I said, just that unscripted feel just made almost all the performances feel really, really great. But he's our head guy, so his just jumped off the page a little bit more in that sense. He was very funny.
Yeah.
Like that first time that he talked on the phone, when he switched from like talking that proper English, very professional, like working as a cop, and then he jumps into that, I was like, yo, I didn't know he had that in them, man.
Yeah,
like, that was hilarious. And then he continued to be funny throughout the rest of the movie. That loose and real talk, and also like he was dominating these fits. Like like we talked about, he had a bunch of good fits, and those are obviously the costume director is giving him the fits. He's not choosing what to wear, but he's pulling these off.
Yeah.
He's looking good.
No,
and he gets a little bit of credit for that too.
No, for sure. He had a good 2 years, man. Like he was like doing like little stuff here and there, and then he got to do BlacKkKlansman in 2 years. Later, get to do Tenet. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it helps with who your dad is, but
Right.
those are some crazy jumps to go Spike Lee and then Christopher Nolan.
And now we haven't seen him in like nothing since.
Yeah, no, he was in The
basically.
Creator, but I didn't hear great things about that.
Oh,
movie.
right. I've seen that. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I heard a lot of people say.
Yeah. It's
So
okay.
it's kind of
it's not bad.
tough.
It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. But no, he was great. I 100% agree. That was my balancing act. I was like, is it Spike or is it John? Because
Mhm.
it's like, yeah, he has that star power like 100%. Like you got thrown right into the lead in this, and he works in Tenet. Whether you want to talk about how we did a whole episode on Tenet, I'm not gonna get.
Yeah,
so you can go listen to that. The Tenet's got a lot. There's a lot to talk about with Tenet, but in this especially, like, yeah, it's just like, I didn't know you, like, maybe you're not familiar with this guy, or you're like, oh, it's Denzel's son. It's like, oh, like, can he lead a movie like that? And like, nah, he's charismatic enough. Like, he's got the chops. He's humorous. Like, he just worked.
Yeah,
He
I mean,
absolutely
like you
worked in
said,
this
like
role.
there is a little bit of nepotism in like helping him get these roles, but like once you get the role, you have to actually deliver.
Oh, 100%.
And he was great in Tenet. Even The Creator, like he was great in it. Like this, I said the movie's okay, but like it's a good performance. And like my first introduction to him was Tenet, and that movie he's very dramatic, very serious. He's like a super intellectual character, very smart, calculated.
Yeah.
And then so that's what I mean when he started this movie out the same way, like talking very professionally and stuff with the cops. I was like, okay, I guess this is kind of what this guy is. And then he jumps on the phone call, and I was like, okay, no, this guy's got some. He could be funny too. I was like, this is this just in the Washington blood? Like these guys are good actors.
You just got it. I mean, with the Nolan thing, it's almost like there's no, because I don't think Denzel's never been in a Nolan movie. So like the fact, and at this point, Nolan is 2020. He has no reason to have like someone's kid be in his movie unless he actually thinks he's good. You know what I mean? Like, what does he owe Denzel to be like, yeah, don't worry, I'll put your kid in my, like Nolan's known for doing that
as the lead character.
Yeah, exactly. But like this one was heavily nepotism, because I saw John David Washington said, he's like, yeah, Spike called me and told me that like to be in the movie. He's like, I didn't even audition. I did not audition. Yes, I did not audition. He just told me I'm the lead.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because what I read was like he had obviously met Spike a couple times like throughout, because Denzel and Spike have worked. Yeah, have just worked together for so long. They know each other so well, but like they weren't close. Like he didn't even have his number, so he got a text like saying like, yeah, I want you to be in this movie, and he wasn't sure if it was real.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So yeah, you're right. That's a little nepotism. You're right.
Yeah, and he's
but
like,
then like I said, you get the nepotism that gives you the opportunity, but then it's Denzel can't help him can't act for him.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean? So like, yeah, he can help you get the opportunity, but it's up to you to take advantage of that opportunity, and he does.
100%. And he 100% does. Spike Lee said that thing. He's like, I've known you like before you were born. It's like I was working with your
That's
dad
not how
before
that
you.
works.
Yeah, I know. That is not how that works. But he's just making that joke. But it's just like, yeah, he's been
Yeah.
rocking with your dad. He's like, when we made Malcolm, I think he's actually in Malcolm X. Oh, I got
Right.
the Malcolm X movie right here. Like he just
Yeah,
plays
yeah.
a little kid in it.
Mhm.
So it's not the first
True.
time he's worked with Spike Lee. Technically,
That's true.
he's got
That
the
is
little
true.
kid credit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's part of the reason we balanced. We wanted to do the highest to lowest, didn't work out. So and we ended up doing this
Yeah.
Spike Lee joint. We ended up doing with his son instead of doing a. I was gonna suggest Malcolm X, but I was like, I didn't know if you were into. We're talking about Gone with the Wind.
Another
This movie's
long
3
movie?
hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
how much time you had in your week.
We'll get to it. We'll do it.
We will
eventually.
get to it. Maybe February, some Black History Month. We'll do
There you go.
do Malcolm X or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a great MVP.
Thank you.
It's a
Thank
great
you.
MVP.
Used to.
We got one certified. As long as we
Certified
get one
scene.
certified, that gets me through the week.
Not 6.
Not yeah.
We could
6 will end it, but as
Yeah.
long as we get one certified, that helps me. Helps my week out. You know, I'm just
Okay.
a happier person.
Okay,
If we get
great.
none, I'm a little sad that week. I'm kind of, you know what I mean. I'm kind of like Topher, but when
you
I'm
gotta
just in a
cut the
bad
Hobbit
mood,
movies
man.
now.
Yeah, exactly. But we
Yeah,
got
there you go.
one, so
We got one. We're good.
I can sleep well.
Yeah.
But with that being said, if you want to be part of the conversation, again, we understand everyone was busy this week with the family meetings, back to school, last minute shopping and stuff like that. But if you want to be part of the conversation, you could follow us at the Film Room Podcast on TikTok and Instagram. Scott, he runs the Instagram account and he puts up the little question every week for the family meeting. So if you want to get on that, follow us on Instagram there. You can find us at the Film Room Podcast on Spotify and Apple. And we always appreciate all the positive feedback we got. Like we got a couple positive feedbacks. I don't know if you have that. Or the comments we got on YouTube. Sorry, if you want to just throw those out, I can send our text messages. Sorry to put you on the
Sure.
spot here. I'll just keep talking as you slowly
I can find
get
it.
those
I can
up.
find it.
Just want to show some. You know, we always say we should like showing love and stuff like. So I didn't want to forget.
Yeah. Oh, this was
What?
well, there was it was on our Heat episode. It was
Yeah.
when we shouted out Mad Max. Said thanks for the shout out. It's refreshing listening to you. Feels like I'm on the couch chatting with friends. It's exactly the vibe we're going for. So
Yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate you, my Max. And
Yeah.
then there was one from Kobe No Relation too, right? Didn't he get thrown?
That was also on the Heat because remember I said the prequel going to be named Warm
Yes,
because it's before Heat. He said Warm would be cool, but how about Preheat?
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
That's
Eloise liked
perfect.
that one. Eloise
Preheat
liked that
is
one. I
insane.
read that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's great.
No, that's good. But hey, if you want to get shouted out like that, leave the comments, leave a review. We appreciate it. You can leave us a review on Apple, Spotify. I think actually Spotify, I don't think you can actually leave a written review. I think you just leave like the stars. Apple, you can actually leave
5
a
of 'em.
review.
5
of them. Whether it's
Yep.
funny, serious, or weird, we read them all. And yeah, on Spotify you can leave comments too. So if you want to leave a comment on for anyone that doesn't know, like that was like a new feature that we didn't realize until
That's
like,
what
later.
those comments are from. Those are
yeah,
from
exactly,
Spotify.
exactly. So do you have any final words before I close it off?
I do not.
Okay,
Close it off.
perfect.
Send it away.
Well, I want you guys to remember that Black people are taking over. They're selling soaps, selling toothpaste, automobiles, and they're doing movie podcasts.
True.
And peace out.
Peace out.